listening to Jenae. You're listening to Jenae. You're listening to Jenae. You're listening to Jenae.
Hi, my loves. It's Jenae Malay, the girl from around the way, where we have culture, conversation, and community. And in today's video, I'm coming to you all with some commentary about the untimely death of the influencer Ashlee Jenae. And I wanted to kind of get into a couple of things only because I feel everyone had so many things to say and conspiracies and theories, myself included. Okay, it's not above me. And I wanted to kind of just get into it since we kind of have some more concrete information, if you can call it that. But basically, I think that we all were on pins and needles waiting to hear what the toxicology report would say, what the mother would say, and what kind of came out of this. Like, granted, whether you followed her content or not, this story was very heartbreaking, you know what I mean? And I wanted to say before I even get into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, hype this video, stick around, all of those good things. And know and understand that we're going to be talking about heavier topics involving mental health, unaligned, all of those different things. And if you're feeling any kind of way, know that there's always help for you. I put some resources in the description box if you know anybody who is feeling a little, it's a little rough out here. Okay. All right. Now that that's out the way, I want to kind of get into this, and that's right. I want to kind of, I want to handle it gingerly, but I want us to be for real. Okay. I want us to be for real because we had a lot to say about this. We really had a lot to say about the whole scandal of it all and the AI images, the misinformation that was put out there. And, her being such a young woman with this older white guy. And then I think it also hit a little harder too because she is from New Jersey. She had a whole life ahead of her. And it's like, wait, what? She's doing what? Like, if you guys saw that documentary on Netflix called The Crash, and the girl's like, she would never do that. She doesn't even eat a McChicken. Like, why would she try to, commit suicide? Like, she just bought a whole bunch of high luxury foods. It's given that. Like, this girl seemingly had her life together. She had a man that she thinks she gonna love forever, and forever will be together. Okay, shout out to Eve one time. And it kind of just felt like something's not clean in the water. Something's not clean in the milk. All right. And if you live in anywhere near an AI data center, you already know that the shit ain't clean at all. Okay. And not to trust it. But TMZ reported that the Zanzibar Deputy Director of Criminal Investigation said that the investigation led them to ChatGPT searches by Ashlee ahead of her death, including one in March that read, "How much volume would kill me?" Right? Chambera also said that text messages sent by Ashlee to family and friends proved she was experiencing depression and distress about her life. And some messages seemed like farewell text. Authorities officially confirmed on Thursday that Ashlee, whose real name is Ashlee Robinson, died suicide while staying at a luxury resort in April during what was supposed to be a birthday getaway turned engagement trip with fiancé Joe McCann. The Tanzania police force said hotel employees found Ashlee unconscious in her room after getting no response at the door. Investigators said she had, I don't want to say that, but she did something with herself. She hung herself from her closet's clothing rail using a roll belt and the hotel provides for guests. She passed away in the hospital April 9th. Authorities said in April, her immediate cause of death was cerebral hypoxia caused by strangulation and suffocation. Okay, Ashlee's family originally told us that her was suspicious and that they had not heard a peep from Joe. Okay, that's important. Officials said that the pair got into a major fight just before her untimely death, but he was questioned by the police and he was never arrested or charged with any crime. Although he was the last to be seen with her, right? At the minimum, if you're the last to be seen with someone, not to even be arrested. I mean, that's interesting. But Joe spoke out about Ashlee's, that on TMZ telling him, I miss Ashlee every moment of every day, and the pain of being without her will never go away. A sudden loss of this magnitude is not something I can simply get over. Okay. Again, if you are struggling or in a crisis, please call or text 988. Okay. It's help for you there. There's also like text messages where they'll send you text messages back and forth and everything like this. Now, a couple of things stuck out to me while kind of getting some information about this. I'm wondering if you all picked up on anything, because if she's Googling in chat GTP and how much volume can kill you, why is she being found in a closet? Okay, that's number one. Okay. Number two, why was he never apprehended and really kind of spoken and talked to the family or anything like this? That's very suspicious to me. That's very suspicious to me. And the fact that it took forever for them to kind of come out and say this is what happened. And granted, I feel like even with the text messages that they're claiming was suspicious and felt like farewell text messages, I mean, that's all left for interpretation, in my opinion. Okay. In my opinion, who said to what? If did the people in Zanzibar came out and said that, oh yeah, this looks like a farewell text. I mean, certainly there are something, there are different cultural differences and languages. Oh girl, bye. Whatever the case, they might can take something like that and read it oh yeah, well, she's saying bye to everybody. No, that's not how it works. And I just really feel like it's unfortunate that happened over there and we couldn't really get a clearer definition. Someone asked, what was the official cause of death, and it was hypoxia and strangulation. So basically, she was deprived of oxygen for a long amount of time. That's what they came up with. I don't even know if they even did a blood draw to see if volume was even in her system, because I remember one time, and this is me just oversharing, but when I was pregnant, I had super crazy major heartburn to the point where I literally remember Googling, can you die from heartburn? What is this? You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that I was thinking anything crazy. It was just more or less girl, what's going on? She probably had, some volume or whatever, and she want to make sure that everything is what it needs to be. But I think with this conversation, I want to have two conversations. One about this report, because to me, it just feels a little faulty. It really does. It doesn't seem for real to me. It doesn't seem authentic. It doesn't seem, it still feels fictitious, in my opinion. That's just how I feel. But also, too, there was a lot of conversation around the couple in general. They were age gap relationship. They were also a interracial relationship, right? And there was a lot of discourse around, Black women seriously dating white men and, their safety, and they don't really like you, and this, that, and the third. And that's kind of what she gets, right? Because we see time and time again when it's in the reverse, things happen, whether people go to jail or not. But the same is kind of true, for this situation, for this circumstance. And because of that, I think it's important for us to really start having a bigger and deeper conversation about this, because surely it's still unfortunate. They had a GoFundMe which raised over $64,000, guys. Okay, they only wanted a goal of $50K. They ended up getting 64, and they are trying to, navigate the investigation all the way from America in Zanzibar. She was celebrating her 31st birthday, and they wanted to bring her home with dignity and possibly seek some answers. So this GoFundMe was definitely started by the mom, Harry Robinson and Yolanda. They have yet to make any statements. But I'm sure they'll be making some soon, right? I'm sure that we can get more pieces to the puzzle as time goes on and progresses. But we have Scholar in the building. Let me make sure you're on. Okay, yeah. Everything is everything. And I know that we're going to have a lot to say because honestly and truly, a lot of people were upset at the fact that she was this young, beautiful Black woman and she decided to be with this man. It was like, well, why is she with him? And that's what she get. So I want to get into what her man or her fiance said at the time. Or finally, May 5th, he comes out with a lengthy statement that he posted on X. So he says, there are no adequate words to describe the total devastation, emptiness, and shock I feel after losing my best friend, confidant, and fiance, Ashlee Jenae Robinson. Okay, full on name. As a father myself, I am also heartbroken for Ashlee's parents, Yolanda and Harry. Devoted fans knew Ashlee through her charismatic online persona, Ashlee, but the person I loved was Ashlee, L-Y, guys. A woman who embodied the virtues of compassion, empathy, kindness, generosity, and love. A nurturing presence, Ashlee cared deeply for the people closest to her, which to my internal gratitude included me. She fattened me up with her amazing cooking and had a great relationship with my kids. I don't like that line, y'all. I'm sorry. Each day we share both quiet moments. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say something rude, so I'm gonna just bite my tongue.
Okay, let me just finish this up. Okay. Each day we share both quiet moments of reflection and the many joys of being in love with each other. Okay. Now, I think that with him saying that she wanted to become a mother and raise a family, there's no question that she would have been an amazing mom. So when I hear things like that, she wanted to have a family, she wanted to become a mother, that sounds like a person who is looking forward to and planning future for life, planning their life. Robinson families first shared the news of her death on April 12th. And then again, they raised $64,000 to support funeral arrangements and travel costs to try to get some information about what was going over there in Zanzibar. Like me as a person that watches a lot of true crime and understanding like how the shit works, like it just sounds like this is some bullshit to me. To me. Now, Skylar, I know you wanted to jump in. Did you want to go ahead and get in on this or what?
Oh man, so many things to unpack. So let me just start unzipping. So
Yeah.
first things first. What I really dislike about public stories is you don't have an informed opinion. It's strictly bias and sensationalism, right? When you first hear the story, the first thing you're gonna do is your bias is gonna tell you one thing. So I'm not above it. First thing I say is, that white man did something to that black girl. Because I mean, we have a history of it. Look in the
Mhm.
American history books. Like this is not something I made up, right? So my biasness leans towards what I've been reading and throughout history, So it was like it's just like when like you said earlier, black, whenever a black dude is with a white woman, they're like, we try to tell you that type of stuff. That's based off history, right?
Mhm.
So with this whole thing, I came in with my biasness and I was like, he did something to her. But I'm still a little bit torn because I understand the fishiness of it. Like the fact that like all the evidence is leading up to their ruling already and their ruling wasn't done with like due diligence.
Yeah.
Right. But I was even asking chat, like, well, what did they rule it as? They ruled it as hypoxia. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Why didn't they investigate strangulation? You know, she like that's crazy. And they was like, I was like, well, does the medical terms differ from America today? They were like, no, medical terms are universal. That's why the books and stuff are all the same. Now, the qualifications to get your degrees might be different, but the books and the terminology is still the same, you
Mhm.
know? And I was like, okay, well, then that makes perfect sense. Like, okay, if you look at the fishiness surrounding this, right? And we're now we're biased, like I said, and we're more prone to believe the opposite than what they're telling us, just like the powers that be type of mindset, right?
Yeah.
And black people, we got a little PTSD because they always lie on us. So we got that going for us too as well. So like I'm not either way on this. I get it on both sides because if she did unalive herself, the family would never accept it. They don't understand that people could be smiling, happy, and be miserable deep down inside. And
Yeah.
especially if you have the biasness of being attractive, they're like, well, what? You have everything. You got a fiance. He got money. You're beautiful. Why wouldn't bring you happiness? That would bring me happiness. They don't understand that if life was that simple, like we wouldn't have a undiagnosed mental health crisis in America right now if life was that simple. If it was
Mhm.
as simple as flipping the switch like that, then hey, everybody will be living up to their potential. There wouldn't be haters out there. There wouldn't be abusers. All of this stuff. All of that's based on insecurities and non-treated mental health issues. So I get it on both sides. I don't with this, I'm kind of like open. I'm not leaning either way because he does look sus as hell. That's another thing. Image wise, if I was writing a Tyler Perry play, he would definitely be the guy to do that type of crime. Being honest,
He would be the villain, right? No, for
he
sure.
definitely would be.
I agree. And I think that the fact that it took him so long to come forth, knowing what it looked like, you take her all the way over there, y'all in Zanzibar, there was allegedly some sort of dispute. You're the last person known to be with her. And then now suddenly she comes up and she's no longer here. And you wait weeks till you come out and make this lengthy post on not even a front facing, camera facing video so people can lay their eyes on you and judge your body language and look at all those different things. I think those things are very strategic. She's a person who was a social media girly, right? Hop up on the Insta. You feel what I mean? Talk to the fans a little bit, right? Something. The fact that he just posted something doesn't sit right with me either. And even with going back to being in Tanzania, and I'm not even trying to be shady, because there are some hiccups and mishaps that happen over here in the American justice system, even with just simple like collecting evidence and prosecuting and all of these different things. But it took them forever to come back with something. And to use Chat GPT, I mean, how much volume does it take to, I mean,
But not
like,
showing us, like not that they owe it to us to show us, but it's
no, they
like,
do. They absolutely do. They owe it to somebody, the mother. I mean, it's not
yes,
like they were
at
trying.
least, but okay. So that might be a little bit of American privilege speaking. Like they run their country the way they run their country. You know what I mean? And it is what it is type stuff. So
But they
I get
should
it.
though.
Court
They
of public
should.
opinion, we want to know so we can make a decision. And I get that, but they really don't owe it to us, right? And that's why the mother and them were trying to do independent investigations, but even they're coming from an American prism. And it's like they'll never get justice. They're gonna always, and it's the sad part about it. They're gonna always have that "what if I don't know" thing going on because number one, I don't know if anybody was aware of this. And that's why I say this guy fits the pro. Look at the picture. Look at the thumbnail. He looks. I gotta keep it. He looks evil. He looks like he's in Austin Powers a million gajillion dollar. Like he looks like a villain. And it's just like it doesn't help how he's behaving. But see, this is how that works, right? When people are compromised. If he would have did a video, everybody would have said, "Look how guilty he looks in the video." Like it's nothing really he could have did. He should have just shut up. He should have shut up and let.
Well, he did.
And the fact that he's speaking, and I seen online that he's like a tech person because she was somewhere overseas, and he got the NFL to stream with the TV, and I was like, and she was bragging on it like my baby is a tech dude. I'm like, a tech dude, Chat GTP, yeah, it's still like it. That I don't know. They're feeding my paranoia.
Hmm. No, I agree. I think that yeah, like you're saying everything that I'm thinking. One second, we're in the chat. Peace and love to you, Candy. Peace and love, thinker. Yeah, I still think the death of my sister, some things will remain a mystery. Yeah. The cause of death was hypoxia and I think strangulation too. But to your point about them saying like, oh well, but that's the American privilege coming out. I mean, if we're going to be completely honest, absolutely it should be. I mean, it's a high profile case when you're over in Zanzibar and you have an American influencer. I think that they should have treated it as such. If this, a lot of these places really rely heavily on tourist economy. So I'm second guessing and second thinking. Remember back in the day, like, Dominican Republic was having like some issue with their little mini bars and people was getting drugged and all this old carrying on. People were thinking twice about going to the DR. So if you want to, make it a thing where people feel safe and people feel welcomed, they absolutely should have did their best and their due diligence and gave a little bit of American privilege. I'm sorry, I don't want to say it like that, but absolutely, not only to protect their own, interest, but to make things right. I mean, and granted, they can't control what happened. People die every day, be not to say it like that, but there are other people who are native to the land who possibly pass on resorts and these things happen. But I just feel like with it being so high profile in America, I know that they had to feel the heat there, or at least I would hope, because if she was of a different complexion, I'm sure it would have been a little bit different, right? And it makes me think
Also, if
about
we
like
had a
how much
different,
race, like how much did the race influence the public relation of this whole situation, right?
I was gonna say also if we had different leadership, I would say too. Like I feel like if Barack Obama was president, they would have a little bit more, what do you call it, urgency to try to produce something on top of the money. Because you're right, they thought they was gonna sweep this up under the rug. Like, bro, hanging from the ceiling and dying
She
from
was in her closet.
asphyxiation is like insane to me. Choking, like that's two different things. That's why I checked the term. Like, wait a minute, maybe I'm mixing up the terms. I'm not a medical professional or anything, but no, like I'm like, oh well, this is definitely suspicious as hell. And like you said, they came and they were like, hey, Americans, uh, yeah, we was right. Come spend your money with us. Okay, we out.
Also, too, to me, it signals to the whites, hey, you're safe here too, right? You and your girlfriend can come and whatever, whatever. We got your back. Because I remember saying that from the beginning, like, even if they knew and they recognized that something was foul play, maybe they would cover it up because he had the coin. He was in tech. And the fact that he was not coming forward, not saying anything, makes it, to me, seems a little bit more suspicious. Because if you don't have anything to hide and you're, really grieving, and she was already a public image, it's not like he was just a regular dude who worked over in the corner cubicle, right? Like, she was a high profile girl. She had
They
over
let me
like
be fair.
100,000
What if
followers.
what if the government told him not to speak on it and it's also his legal representation?
I mean, it could be. I'm
Because he
sure
because he
he did.
didn't speak until the ruling was done. So I imagine that they had a little influence over that too as well. That's where my conspiracy dots come in. Because like this is not an American issue. You know what I mean? So why didn't you not speak about it until they said, okay, hey guys, we were right the first time. Definitely were right. Who investigated us? Us. And who was right? Us. All right, everybody go back to doing what you're doing. Spend some money.
Hmm. Yeah. I think Thinker is raising a good point. The Africans pander to whites over there. Colonialism did such a number on them. Plus, they are desperate for money. They really are. Like, if you ever watched anybody or traveled outside of the country, specifically to like some of the African countries, you know that like every two steps that you take, you got to spend $5 because the people are looking for a way to get a quick buck. Oh, I got your back. Give me $5. Oh, I said hello. Give me $5. Oh, I, batted my eyelash. Give me $5. And so, what would it be to have a really major payday for everybody in that little one, too, to change their life forever? Like, the location at which the investigation happened is compromised just simply because the power dynamics are off. You know what I mean? And surely we can hope that the situation makes sense, but or that the people would do the right thing. But she asked Chat GPT, how much volume can I take? But then she answers herself by she ends up hanging herself in a closet. That doesn't even add up to me. Most women usually do commit suicide in a way where it's by pill or whatever the case. They're not doing that whole shot to the head and everything like this. That's kind of like a man thing. And I'm not saying it like, to be anything like this, but it's statistics that shows that women they think about the cleanliness, the quickness that it's going to take, or their experience in ending it all. So you looking at one way, but you do it a different way. The text messages that are allegedly like, oh well, she was saying farewell and goodbye text. Why the family never come out and say that prior to this then? They were making it seem like no, something's wrong. They didn't say she was suffering from mental health. And here's another thing, this is a caveat, because again, like to your point earlier, people can have it all. People can seemingly look like they're living a great life and can be happy and have the influencer factor. People saw the photos of a happy relationship, the trips, the makeup, the hair, the gifts, and then others people saw like the truth, the arguments, and like, trying to balance the two, and deep down inside feeling really, really isolated. I know a lot of creators feel isolated because, they don't really have people who see them in a real way. You have to kind of present in this public persona. It can be very lonely, it can be very isolating. And that's just only considering what she, her profession as a content creator. We're not even talking about childhood. We're not talking about the dynamics that she had with her relationship with this man who had children and much older than her. So I don't want to discredit that it could have been something, involving her mental health, and maybe that was a part of the spiral and the breakdown. But I'm not convinced on those chat GPT texts. I'm just sorry. That ain't enough for me.
Who knows how much power he got with the government? It could have been the government.
I mean, which one? Hey, Lamar, how are you?
The ones that did the investigation. It would be like OJ. I don't think OJ did it, but I believe he had somebody do it. Because
Okay,
remember, they
my
separated them.
advised him to say nothing. That's true. Yeah, he was definitely advised not to speak. Where are the celebrities and activists speaking out on injustice? Where is Charlemagne, Tamika Mallory, BML, Al Sharpton, and everyone else? This case deserves attention. Now, you're right. I mean, if out of all of those people, Tamika Mallory and Charlemagne, like, you right though. Like, where were they at? Where
Where's
were they
Nicki
at?
Minaj when we need her?
Oh, please. Oh,
She the most wokest one out of all of them.
mm-hmm.
Wait, hold on. Where Jigga? Where Afro Jigga at?
Oh gosh, please, can we not?
Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. Them people, me and Jay can't stress this enough. Capitalism. When you got rich money, when you got money, you got rich people problems. You kind of don't care about what's going on unless it affects your bottom line. So don't look for them. Don't hold your breath. You might pass out. I'm waiting for them to speak on important stuff. But yeah, this is a really controversial issue. I feel like I said it, because the bias, I have to fight the biasness in me to try to be fair. Like,
Yeah.
even with them commenting, the timing of his comment, I'm like, okay, this is a weird comment, but I got to put it in perspective. It did come after the verdict of them investigating themselves, but they still, it's final now. Okay, well, let me speak out now that it's over. I don't want to damage myself then. And like I said, he could have been under orders from that place, like, hey, don't say anything. Don't say nothing until this is over. You better not speak, or what? I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know how much influence he has there. Why ain't these YouTube experts and these people that be doxing people go find some stuff out like that? That's something I would want to know. How much influence did he have at that place before this happened? Because he wouldn't even have to lift the finger during the separation. I mean,
I'm curious to know what you think. Do you think that our interpretation of this case would be different if he had not been an older, evil-looking white man and he was just a young black guy? Would we feel the same? Would we be like going through
absolutely, absolutely.
You think
We
so?
would feel like they was equally yoked. That this was just a tragedy. That she was unhappy. Yeah.
Meaning, like, we would just be like, oh, okay, too bad that this happened. It wouldn't be the third degree. And what actually did they do the proper protocol and or the forensics? We would have just been like, oh, it's just one tragic accident. That was it. It's the fact that he's a white man that makes
The
us
family would have raised questions, but it wouldn't have got much fire as it did.
I think, okay, so for me, I think if it was the same type of situation, the chat GPT, the volume mentioned, I think that I'm more or less responding to the facts of the case or how much we don't have, and like the larger fears, like around like how much we just don't know, and we have to fill in the gaps. it's still a lot of like holes for me in this story. If it was an Asian man and the situation happened, I'm like, wait, what? And she had text messages in March. She goes on a trip in April. They get into this huge domestic dispute. And another thing too, guys, I know, like, I don't know what state it is, but there are certain laws that, like, if you know that a person has a history of like mental health and wanting to delete themselves and everything, and you say something like, well, I don't give a damn, go on ahead and jump off the bridge, right? In some states, you could be held liable for that because you know that they have a history of mental health. Who's to say he ain't in there saying some shit, yeah, bitch, you might as well go ahead and blah, fucking with her, but I just don't, nothing about
Wait,
this feels like she did this. It's just,
because you're aware, like I said, the bias, you're aware of femicide, right? A lot of people wouldn't even know what that was. They probably would think it's some shit you put on crops. But you're aware of femicide, so. But you get what I'm saying whenever I say the government could be more involved in. They're definitely involved. They're investigating themselves, right? So I didn't make that up. But what I mean is just me, like I said, my conspiratorial brain, I know that they were separated, right? And then from the point of them being separated, she ended up being unalive, either by herself or by somebody else. We suspect, well, some people suspect it was the evil looking dude, right? And what I'm saying is if he spends money and you think that that government is all about the money, then why wouldn't they unalive somebody for her, especially a woman? We know women rights over there. Forget about it.
right, right,
So that's
right.
all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying with that. I just gave a little clarity on my viewpoint with that because uh, my sister logic was like, what does the government have to do with it? I'm just saying, like, if they for sale, they for sale. We just negotiating price. If they're about the money, like y'all say that they are. So I don't think they will respect. I don't see if somebody came to them and dropped $1 million for them to unalive somebody, for them to be like, my morals and integrities and I respect women. No, they probably do it.
Tuh. And you in a situation that's completely different, and they halfway looking at you anyway, sideways, like, well, they probably feel the same way. Well, she ain't had no business with his ass any damn way. Give me this money, get the head, the bread, then leave. Give me the cash, and I'm out of here. I think it's just really unfortunate, and it makes me question um how Black people, specifically Black women, have to navigate this world and navigate this life even with a man, right? I don't know if you guys are like on TikTok and they're like, oh, what are the safest cities for you to travel as a Black woman, right? What are the most dangerous cities for you to travel as a Black woman? Like, those things matter because we understand and know that the media attention is not going to follow. There's going to be a certain level of respect or disrespect that happens depending on where you visit. And it's making me pose the question of, um, like, where do we draw the line with, oh, I'm just going to go visit this place and not feel protected? We're not even protected here in America. Now you going over somewhere else where this white man can buy all these people, everybody on the damn resort, and we just have to deal with it. But I want to just, I don't know. I also too think about like how ugly things got. It started to me, it started to feel less about Ashlee Jenae and more about how many Black men have gotten caught up at the hands of white women. And it was kind of almost like that gotcha moment. That was a part that I like hated the most because it's like, this is still a person and a woman, you know? That was the part for me. The cause, it was hypoxia and strangulation is what they were saying.
Strangulation is crazy. It's a crazy term to use for somebody they found suspended from the ceiling. Like, wait a minute, that's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Hypoxia is going to be the same because I think it means it's loss of oxygen without oxygen. But that
Hmm.
I'm just like, that's so like, wait a minute, like what? What did that mean? Okay, that means there's a F up somewhere, even if it is no cover up. And it's like, well, they'll catch it because that's what happens when people rush or be lazy at work. Somebody comes along and catches it, and the fact that nobody caught it, I'm like, oh, well, it's a mass cover up. Got to be.
And I think that anybody that's working in the FBI, CIA from a distance can look at some files and look at this shit and be like, yeah, something else went down over there. Shit, I feel like it did. Okay. No credentials outside of my intuition and just pure common sense. Like, wait a damn minute, this don't even add up. Thinker said it's all fun and games until it happens to their black daughter. Exactly. Yep, she was in her closet. They saying it was the ceiling. She was in her closet using a bathrobe. That don't even sound the fuck right. But I do think that like people were just so quick to kind of demonize this woman for being in this relationship to begin with, and that's why I'm
Uh,
all, yeah,
Jay,
they
they
were.
were, but I feel like it's cultural. Like the sad part about the internet, and I remember this COVID kind of showed me this, right? I
Mhm.
remember having a conversation on my panel one time about them making like COVID like a Memorial Day type thing, because we lost so many lives, right? And the person disagreed with me. I was like, like wow, like what? And they were like, no, like basically people get shot every day. Like on that type of time, I'm like, bro, like when did death become so normalized? Like that's so crazy to me that we look at like I get it, everybody's gonna die, but there used to always be a sense of we don't speak ill of the dead, or I feel like now people look at it like a video game or something. Like hey, first person shooter mode. When your lights get cut off, it's just off. It is what it is, type stuff. So when you pass away, you court of public opinion will pull up your dirty tweets you said 7 years ago, or it's really sick. It's really the internet is kind of sick place. So got to keep it real.
I do think that people became desensitized because of COVID and just seeing so much, seeing so much of it at one time. Yeah, we are too desensitized. I agree. I agree. We really are. We don't care about others. We're very super hyper individualistic. And nothing for the community, everything for self. If it doesn't impact me, then oh well. Not recognizing like if the flu is in your neighborhood, you may not have it yet, but if it's in your neighborhood, it's somewhere close and lurking by, right? Um, I don't know. I just think that if this same situation, the same circumstance happened to someone else, um, you know, I just feel like the outcomes would have been different.
It's being. I gotta ask the court of public opinion, the internet. This is being right. It's being right worth somebody's grief or misery, right? So we get it. We get it. We know that. I remember that the dude that was interviewed by your favorite Shannon Sharp, Skip Stop,
Oh
right? And he was
God.
he was he was a he was a what a highly challenged person, right? And they asked about their community, and he was like, when y'all date tall girls, the like how does that? He was like, yeah, it's just like the black community. It's funny that he's not even in the black community talking about it's just like the black community, right? Everybody knows everything about the black community without being in. That's crazy to me. But he was
Mhm.
like, yeah, it's like y'all's community, and he was like, the girls be like, why y'all taking our man and stuff like. So there's always kind of that invisible elephant in the room with regarding interracial relationships. But it's the number one category if you go search on the hub, and everybody know what the hub is. We're not gonna do that. Not just playing. But now it's the number one search thing. It's the taboo thing to do. But we got to stop whenever somebody passes away to be like, you know, I told you so. You shouldn't have stepped out. Like like they're gone forever. They have family that love them. That's not
Mhm.
responsible for anything they do online or any of that. Sometimes they leave behind kids, and people still go as ham as possible to be right. And that's why I say is being right worth somebody else's grief, because me could torment somebody online. Like, I mean, that's no different than the YNs talk about smoking on they enemies type stuff. That's what I look at that like. Like, let them people rest. I get it. But hey, sometimes everything ain't need to be said. Everything don't need to be said. It needs timing too. You wouldn't if somebody was a bad person and you fell out with them, you wouldn't show up to their funeral, right? During their eulogy and say, hey, I know what y'all think about Carlos, but Carlos was a piece of you know what I mean? You wouldn't do that, right? So got to stop this. The internet is making it really, really comfortable. Disrespect normalized, and it's making death normalized too, as well. Which it should be just to a certain degree. We still should respect it because we don't know what's on the other side. You know how many wars and people have died and fought, based on what's on the other side. So we don't know, right? But we can at least respect them. That's what we can, as the living, we can respect the dead, right? Unless they were, you know, PDFs or any of that. Then we could. But other than that, no, we can respect them.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I do. I do. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I guess. I think that so many people just have different values and like Thinker said, like people are just so like desensitized and then also insensitive to things that are supposed to be. Like we're losing some of those core values that make people just human and considerate and kind. You know what I mean? Like really basic shit, like not cursing in front of the elderly. Like, nowadays, forget not cursing in front of the elderly, they'll beat somebody grandma up over at the coffee spot. So like, I don't know. It's just one of those things, and one of the times, like I just feel like it's a tale of the times that we're living in. We need to be mindful of our surroundings at all times, ladies, because even with the man that you want to spend the rest of your life with, if you are feeling unsafe, if you are not okay, listen to your intuition, and I think that, let's just say hypothetically she wasn't feeling it, but shit, Zanzibar is a trip of a lifetime. Okay. All right, somebody call you today, tomorrow. You want to go to Puerto Rico? Most people in the chat on the way to go to Puerto Rico. Okay, they don't even give a damn what's going on, and we will.
Not me. Not me. I'm
Well,
only traveling to. We're gonna create us an FBA society in America, and we're gonna be the tourist spot.
oh gosh, yeah, no. I mean, most people will.
No, I'm just joking. I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's a no brainer. I mean, if people love traveling in general. Most people, not all people. Some people homebodies, but like I'm a homebody to a certain degree, and I enjoy traveling. So yeah, I get it. I get, and like I said, that adds to the suspicion surrounding it, because it's like, well, we know most people just can't just get up and just travel, right? It's not that it's so hard to do, but you have obligations to your job. You know what I mean? Then we held prisoner by insurance to that job, so we don't want to leave that. It's a bunch of bureaucracy stuff that goes into that, right? It's a bunch of bull BS, right? So um, this person was able to just go wherever they want. So it appears on the outside, we don't know. They could be just living off nothing, living off debt, right? But it appears that they're good. They can just get up and go travel, like, so they're financially stable and stuff like that. So that just adds to the lore of why. That's the biggest question ever. Why? Why would somebody allow themselves? But like I said, would they accept it? If she could come back, if she did do it and explain to everybody, like, they still wouldn't accept it. If she can come back and say, "This is why I did what I did. I just wasn't happy. I couldn't take it anymore," blah blah blah, et cetera, et cetera. I still don't feel like they would accept it. So I mean, it's one of those things. It'll always be a mystery. We'll never know. It's one of those 9/11 events.
Yeah, not unless like they kind of get her body back and we can actually still get some real like report and real information about it. Cause again, I don't even think there was like a toxicology or any kind of like blood draws. The guy who was talking about it, he just seemed very kind of like straightforward. He didn't really care too much. Let me see if I still have this video and I can pull it up. But he seemed like halfway, like it was his first day on the job. And I'm not even trying to say it to say make it seem like these people are incompetent and don't know what they're doing. But it's hold on, let me see if I can like share my screen with this so we can kind of get into it. It's we're gonna have to translate it, y'all. Or read the subtitles rather. Um let me see. Tell me if y'all can see it.
What language is it in?
Whatever they speak in Tanzania.
Oh, I got this, sister. I got fluent. I got this.
Oh my god. Please.
See, there you go. I guarantee if I look like that man on the screen with that eyebrow raised, that suspicious guy, you would say, "Go ahead and speak that."
Please. Okay, yeah, I can see it. Mm-mm. Let me just play this song.
Electronic tulivyovichunguza, lakini vile vile pamoja na sampuli mbalimbali tulizozichukua kwenye eneo la tukio pamoja kwenye mwili wa marehemu wakati wa kufanya uchunguzi wa tukio hili, imegundulika.
Yo, I got an idea. You could open up your phone and ask AI to interpret what they're saying and just have it speak back to us.
I mean, like, we can't read it.
Siku ya tarehe 8
I can't even see it.
marehemu alikuwa na tatizo kubwa sana la msongo wa mawazo,
because I can see it,
na hii imethibitika kupitia jumbe fupi mbalimbali kwa maana ya message kutoka kwenye simu ya marehemu alizokuwa akipishana nazo au
to exchange messages and communicate with her fiancé as well as other people who were relatives and acquaintances as apart from Joseph. Therefore, this helped establish the behavior of the deceased before the incident of attempted suicide, which later led to her death. Ashlee Robinson, a U.S.-based influencer, was confirmed dead in 19 whatever. They said they can the investigation confirmed without any doubt that the act by the deceased, which she carried out on the 8th of April, of attempting to hang herself at the Zuri Hotel, was what led to her cause of death. She passed around like 3:00 p.m. in the afternoon. Yeah, that doesn't.
But they found her, but
She said
she
there's no
passed it through.
person who can be linked. Like what?
No person. Why
Anyway,
would you link a person if it was? Man, listen, first I don't trust the
no,
man. I don't
right?
trust.
Like the language, there's no person who can be linked in any way whatsoever to the death of the deceased. The evidence
Yeah, they
confirms
clearing
the
that white
deceased
man.
died. No, for sure. The evidence confirmed that the deceased died as a result of her suicide attempt. Suicide attempt? What? Which occurred on April 8th. Okay. So it wasn't successful. And then she went to the hospital, which she later passed. While she was receiving treatment at the hospital, around 3:00 p.m. She passed away. Additionally, the phone investigative that in March, before Ashlee came to Zanzibar, like before we even came here, she asked a question suggesting suicidal intent through an artificial intelligence program known as ChatGPT. The questions asked was the following: how much volume would kill me? Meaning, how many tablets she would need to take in her life. Those were some of the messages that were found in her phone, and others that appeared to be farewell messages. As well as that clearly confirm, as well as others that clearly confirmed that the deceased had problems with depression, and she did what was planned and carried out in advance. I mean, absolutely nobody associated and attached to the attempt. What? That sounds crazy to me. There's absolutely nobody associated and to link to this person. I don't trust that one bit. Yes, let's get into some of the comments. Okay, I don't even know if her body is still over. It might be at this point. Why is Addie going to show you every time? Yeah, look at him.
Yo, pause for men that use it with a Z. Like I ain't gonna lie, that sounds zesty. It don't matter how you say it with X. Tariq Nasheed be saying it, I cringe every time he say that.
What
That's crazy.
white Zaddy?
Yeah, I mean a woman can say it, but a dude saying like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
I've seen several expats come back to the US for medical care. So, ooh, yeah, this is true. Like, the hospitals are not the same. They are not the same. You don't get the same kind of treatment. White people
Did you notice this, Jay? Did you notice I want y'all to leave this white man alone. We found her. Let me calm down. We found her. We found her suspended from the ceiling. And the white man didn't do it. Y'all leave him alone. Leave Brittany alone. Like, Nick, if
Okay.
you don't calm down. Like,
Uh-huh.
first off, I don't trust no man that's going bald and get that little part back there edged up. So he had that lined up. I never met a trustworthy person like that ever in my life. The moment they get that lined up and they don't make it completely one way or the other, they two-faced. Two-faced. Can't be trusted. So no, I don't. He didn't leave a name or nothing. He like we said, Americans just keep spending your money. Leave that good white man alone. He spent a lot of money with us too. We just got this money now.
Mm-hmm. That's what it felt like. That's literally what it felt like. Like nobody else was involved or linked to this whatsoever. Like, what the fuck? How could you even say that? And she's there with a fiance who has not said anything. This right here, please. Y'all, please. I was about to come up here and try to just get into it just to see. And, let's be fair, guys. No, we got to be fucking for real. Okay. Fuck being fair. Let's be fucking for real. Because this is too much. This is too much. It's too many inconsistencies. Thinker says she don't trust it one bit. No, this sounds crazy. It was the nobody was involved whatsoever for me though. Cause it's given he had a pocketbook and he had a coin big enough. And that's one thing I learned about people. It doesn't matter what's right or what's wrong. If you have the coin, if you have the big enough pocketbook, it don't matter who's right or wrong. They want to stay close to and in proximity to so they can get whatever that person want to give them. And it doesn't matter if it's crumbs. What's the purpose of me staying and standing up and doing what's right and possibly have some repercussions like leaving my job or having some issues with that, as opposed to I might as well do what they asking me to do, going along and getting along so I can still have access to my little couple of dollars and my job.
Hey, and this is why we say capitalism is bad. When we say that, oh my God, we get so much resistance just from the people who are participating in it. They're not even on the rich side. They think they're
Oh
gonna
yeah,
be one day, but they're not even on the rich side. But you
correct.
can tie capitalism to every single thing, including, let's just say that this is what we suspect it to be. That would be tied to capitalism. Well, I want to make the most money. It's a smart business decision, blah, blah, blah. Capitalism is tied to slavery. It's tied to everything, right? So it's like, this is why we be preaching so hard against it, because you can't have morals and integrity and be 100% pure capitalist. It's impossible,
Yeah.
because everything's for sale. That's the mindset.
Like that guy said, everybody got a price. Remember that boy on one of those podcasts? Everybody got a price. He said, "Not me." He said, "That you just letting everybody know you could be sold or some shit
Like
like
talking
this."
about Bud, yeah.
Who was he? I don't
It
know.
was Bud. And you know what's cringy about that? I got a feeling they're gonna make Bud an offer he can't refuse, and he gonna come back. But that's neither here nor there. Right now, Bud's still standing strong. So shout out to Bud. But yeah, that capitalism stuff is sick, because like you said, people want to be in close proximity to it. You could do no wrong. I remember this story, right? I remember this story. So everybody clutch your pearls right now. I remember I was in college, right? So so this is a long time ago, right? And I remember there was a story that came out, and it was a white male who was essayed a woman behind the trash can. Right? That's wrong universally. That's wrong lawfully, because we live in a nation of laws. That's what we're always told, right? We're not barbarians, right? The forefathers. You got to hear all this talk. The judge, what got up there? You thought the judge was his lawyer, the way he was defending them. We can't mess this young man's future up. We can't do this, and we know that was all about money. He was only at that school because of legacy from his rich parents. Like, people don't want to mess up the money. The money makes one call. The money is above the law too, as well, right? Because we always talk about a tier system for our justice system. Is the tier system is race and ethnic background. You can't separate the two, right? Because we really have gerrymandering. We got Jim Crow. So that's baked into our cake, right? So the two-tier justice system is basically that, one for the rich and one for everybody else, right? Rich got to do, all they got to do is make one phone call, and your life is really, really hard. So people don't be looking for them type of problems. So they just whistle past the graveyard, whistle past investigations, whistle past everything, and just let it be what it is. We just seen with them files that never came out.
Wait, what didn't come out?
Them files, that was
Oh,
attached to the
oh, oh,
president.
oh, 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 God, oh, God, oh, God. Yeah, no, yeah. No, we didn't got to do that. Yeah, no, I think that you're right. I think that this is just, ladies, another sign and another nod to be very mindful, girl. You better off traveling with you and your homegirls, and then even then, you better hope they ain't the jealous type, because they might fucking beat you up and put you in a
Oh,
ice.
I'm
I'm just
glad you brought that up. What was that girl's name that this actually happened to? She went with her friends and they unalived her. I think that was in Mexico.
No, they were in. Oh, yes. Yes. So I thought you were talking about the girl in Chicago, but there was a girl in Mexico, Shaniqua or Dominiqua or something like this. I remember her. She was a really pretty girl. She was cute.
Paid for the entire trip and everything.
Mm-hmm. They was over at the villa, this, that, and the third. Yeah. Oh, Pittsburgh T said July 1st. She wrote, "I already know I'm gonna end up with a white man, just like my mom, cracking the fuck up. White ice isn't B. Some black people think dating white people is superior." Yeah, but even if she thought that it was superior, he ain't she ain't thank you, thinker, Shankilla.
Wait a minute. Wait, she ended that with that is not dating them is superior, right?
Thank you for saying that name, thinker. Um
I'm
no.
trying to get what. So is she's saying in that statement, she's saying, it sounds like she's jokingly saying, my mom said I'm gonna be with a white woman, but at the end she said some blacks think dating white people are superior. Is she taking a dig at her mom? That's what it
No,
sounds like to me.
that's what Pittsburgh T is saying, because it's end quote. He
No,
was
but
like,
it sounds like to me she's taking a dig at her mom, saying her mom thinking dating a white person is superior. That she doesn't think that. That's what I'm getting from that.
okay. I don't know. I would
But
kind of agree.
even listen, Pittsburgh team. If I ever pass away and you let them bring up my tweets to assassinate my character, I'm gonna be so
From
dis. I'm gonna hunt you.
2013
I'm
or
gonna
what?
hunt you, Pittsburgh team. I'm gonna hunt you, bro. Like, bro, we say a lot of stuff. Think about just in our daily conversations online. Like, we say a lot of stuff, and sometimes we change our mind. It might be the next week, next month, whatever. You're allowed to change your mind. Like, you think the same way at 50 as you thought as 30, then you did no growing. You just wasted time and wasted your life, right? So we're constantly bothered. So I don't care about none of that. I don't care about their online stuff. You know who does that? The media. That's an old trick of the media, right? Like, so when I remember when Trayvon passed, they showed pictures of him to try to dehumanize him so that people would not care about his death. It's the same thing that they're doing with this case. Who cares about her tweet? And I never thought I would see the day where the people who complained about the news for years, right, and voted for a president and said fake news, right, would do the tricks of the news by themselves, independent of the news. You can't make this up.
What they call it? Fake news. Fake
Propaganda.
news.
Fake news. It's fake news.
No, honestly. Honestly and truly, the man who came up there and said there was nobody else whatsoever involved. Maybe you're right. Maybe Donald Trump ass was over there saying some shit. Nobody was involved whatsoever.
Absolutely no.
Yeah,
I don't even know. I don't even know Epstein. What is that Epstein?
yeah, right. Exactly. That's what that man was sounding like. And he looked like it was his first day on the job. I'm like, damn, where the hell they find him at?
Man, that dude had just came from a massage parlor. I know a dude that's
Mm.
participating in foolishness. He came from a massage parlor. Before then he went to the barber. He told the barber, I ain't got nothing on top, just line that little back part up like Uncle Phil. And like I said, the dude both of them look untrustworthy. Like I said, Tyler Perry is responsible for typecasting, and getting those dudes, who look like they for sale capitalism. But he could write a script and he would cast those two dudes. He would cast this guy as the villain in The Family That Prays Part 2, and the black guy would be the guy that's on the inside that hang out next to us, but go back and give him intel.
Mm. Wow. That's crazy. I do think that a lot of this conversation and the interest around the case is because she is a black woman and everybody can have their aha, I told you so moment. That's what I think. I
Yeah,
think
I said people would rather be right. They value being right so much that like that. I ain't gonna lie, that's becoming a little sickness too, right? Like the vindication of just being right. I'm
mm,
noticing a lot of people like jeopardizing, like with elections, with COVID. Think about COVID and how people online was like deleting friendships, ending 20-year friendships and stuff like that. Being right is the most important thing nowadays. It's insane. It's insane. Like I've even had conversations, not saying any names, right? So don't feel attacked, right? But I've had conversations with people, right, on my platform, and they've been wrong, and they've tried to manipulate chat to say what they wanted to say. And I like it would just be an argument between me and chat. I'm like, I might as well argue with chat then. If you just go tell chat, how could I be right? But
mhm,
being right is so important, and I get it because we hold stuff precious to us that we hold precious to us, and a lot of it is personal identity, personal ideas, belief systems, and religion and stuff like that. So when somebody challenges it, you don't want it, like you perceive them as a threat, right? And that comes from us surviving in groups, right? Us
mhm,
surviving in herds and stuff, because evolution wise, you're gonna survive if you have the larger numbers. It's common sense, right? So you want to protect that stuff if you're a part of a religious group or whatever the case may be. So you feel attacked. So the moment somebody disagrees with you, no matter how you view them, you could just get through telling that person, I love you, spouse, whatever. The moment they disagree with you, it triggers that, right? And I feel like that right there, plus online, is a recipe for disaster. That's how you get to them being desensitized. That's how you get all these things. It don't just happen overnight. It's like the internet is breaking our evolution. Like I was even talking about this. So when you meet somebody, let's say you met a dude. Let's say you met a dude, Jay, on at a fight. Say you went to a fight, you met a dude, right? You would be looking immediately for cues, right? Okay, he's not focusing. He blinking a lot. He's not comprehending what I'm saying. You might be like, oh, this guy is slow. You're not working with a full. You take your cues rapidly, send a response to your brain. We can't do that online. You're talking to an avatar. How are you supposed to use cues off of an avatar? It's just a voice.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by it's breaking our evolution. It's changing us, to me, for the worse. Because
Right.
I couldn't, when I was talking about having a Memorial Day for the people that died in COVID, and it was up in the millions, like the idea that was just brushed off, like, wait a minute, what? There was less people that died during 9/11, and we heard about it every year. We have to hear about it every year.
Yeah. And people, like, even back in the day, like lack like social awareness and social cues, and now so even more. But I think that the other piece to that is when you are now also rewarded in social media spaces, when you're just online, you don't have to have the interaction with people. You can't really hold a conversation. You can't really whatever, but you can come up with a curated image. You can come up with a curated talking point. You have this inflated sense of self, and it's like, but it doesn't translate into real life, and it really stunts. I think, like you said, it's going to just rewire how people interact, engage, and how we just function as a society. You know what I mean? Like, again, going back to this, like, this is a point where I see, I told you so. That Jay had no business with his old white ass, right? But not even recognizing that this was a young girl, like this was a human life. You know what I mean? And how do you combat that? You just have to start to adapt, and at least just have the conversation, or at least be in spaces where you can have that interaction. It's like, I'm trying to learn Spanish or whatever. Yo tengo es. And it's like, I can't do that without immersing myself around people who speak it. I can't just, stay in a book the whole time. And I think that that's what's happening. There's such a huge disconnect between just regular everyday people. You know what I mean? Just human connection is so real. And I also believe that human connection and community can be built in social media, on social media, but it's not in the way that we remember it. And things are really changing right before our eyes, for a fact. Okay,
My
you said
bad,
what?
you went out at the last second. Did you say you was learning Spanish, sister?
Oh God, oh God, oh God.
No,
I'm
I went out. Hold on, I went out. What did you say you was learning Spanish?
Yeah, I've been trying
Okay,
to.
let me see what you got. Let me see what you got, sister.
Uh,
Let me hear what you got.
see, now it's about me. Hola español. You speak, you do English. That's all I got.
English.
English,
English. Sister,
English.
come on now, sister. Now look, now black people, I get it. Right? I get it. Let me have a little heart to heart with black people, right? You know how we be like, what was you doing all day? Swimming. And you know how you go to the beach and you stand up, like you lay flat, you stand up and you start getting up on your fingertips, and then you start moving through the water. But that ain't swimming. That I ain't seen no Olympic competition where that was swimming. But I get it. We tried. So I gotta
Yeah,
give us credit for trying, right? But
that's it.
with the Spanish stuff, I can't let that slide. Only because of this. Now, me being from Texas, right? I consider myself a Spanish 1 expert. Matter of fact, I took it twice. It was so good, I took it twice.
A Spanish 1 expert?
Hold on, sister.
You should be fully fluent.
Hold on. No, sister. Don't do it. Vamos a la playa. Vamos a la playa. All right? So, mira.
Oh
Mira,
God, oh God, oh God, please. We don't. Oh my God.
Señorita. Tengo el gatos en las pantalones.
Yeah,
But no, so look, it was so good, I took it twice, right? I took it twice. But yeah, so when I would be like at my job and somebody would come up and spoke real Spanish, and I would be like, ¿tú hablas inglés? Oh, sí, español. Yeah, I was just bullshit. No, please stop. Like, that's how we gotta stop this. We gotta stop this, brothers and sisters. We must stay focused, brothers and sisters.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying.
But no, in all seriousness, dog, you definitely should try to be bilingual. Duolingo, I never finish it. I always open it up, start doing really good, with Apple and Munzana and all that stuff. But I never can finish it. Hombre, el hombre. Like I do good. Like I said, Spanish for an expert. But
Oh my
I can
God.
never finish it up.
Real
I can
shit.
never finish it up.
But that's because you got to be like all the way in it, and I think that's what, to your point, like we be so online spaces, we can't go full throttle with this shit. It's like you can't go past go. You have to just go to this right certain point. You don't really be able to like go all the way and full out. I don't know though. All I know is ain't nowhere in the world that man telling the truth. The African man, the white man, okay. None of them. It's all of them. It's all lies. They made it up. And I don't think that this is going to be the last time we're going to have this conversation. I think there's going to be more to come. I'm really curious to hear what the mother has to say. The father has been relatively quiet. The mom has been the one who's been, rather vocal. And I'm curious to see what comes of this. I really am. For him to have no was he even investigated? Okay, because there's been no link whatsoever. Okay, but was the investigation even happen? Like, did anything happen? But like, it's not America. They can't just go over there. The administration doesn't give a fuck. And this is why I'm assuming that the mother decided to have, some funds being raised. But how those little small countries work, they ain't trying to go up against the Zori Hotel, which, is bringing in X amount of dollars and employees and everything like this. So, guys, just think about who you're traveling with. Think about the circumstances. Can you really trust this person?
Jay, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to ask you. So with the case, got two questions. So with the case with the person in Mexico, right, that you was talking about, that Logic put her name in the chat.
Thank you.
Would you say that it's better to take a solo trip? Because we hearing about all these instances where people trust people, and these people been wanting to take them out, but American laws is the only thing restraining them. So they take them other places and they take them out. So you think people should travel alone? And then the second question is, did the Mexican government do a better investigation than this place? Because I thought that they brought justice for that family.
Definitely. They definitely did a better job, for sure, for a fact. And to answer your first original question, I am all for a solo trip. Okay. I went on a trip with people and was tormented and harassed and everything else like this. I travel so much, but I go by yourself, because at least you can kind of be in control of the situation. You don't have the outside source. I mean, wherever you go, make sure you're going somewhere safe. But yeah, I mean, solo travel is not as bad as people make it seem. If you keep your head on the swivel, you're not out your mind. And how stupid is it to travel alone is safer? Yeah, you are alone. But if you are a smart person and know how to maneuver, you can travel alone, as opposed to traveling with somebody who wants to unalive you. Okay, and throw you off the ship and take you out and frame you and pay the hotel staff. And then who got a bigger pocketbook than you and could plan the whole thing.
Financial abuse. What's the difference between that and financial abuse?
They help each other out. They go hand in hand.
Agree. Hold up, Jay. You got a hate in the chat. You got somebody named Lovely Land hating on you, Jay.
No. She don't know. That's why I was trying to break it down to her. Okay. More people die alone on trips than people they know.
Man, you just made that up. Send us a stat in the chat.
Yeah, categorically.
Man, get out of here. Yeah, that's a Russian bot. That's a bot from the government. They sent that bot over here to your live.
Yeah.
They sent that bot over here to your live. Yep. That's crazy work. But
what you talking about?
I mean, I guarantee that person's probably never even been out of their state while they're over there.
I mean, traveling alone is going to come with some risk, but there's going to always be a risk when you're involving someone, and you're involving a man, and you're involving somebody who's a hater, whether it's your friends, your homeboys, your homegirls. Okay. Joe says she wanted a white man and she got one. And I hate when people say this like this, because it's like you're automatically assuming that because she dated a white man, she deserved to be unalived. Right? That's not fair to say. That's not fair to say.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. Because that's like saying because somebody like broccoli, they deserved it. Like what? Like what? Like when did we become so like morally grandstanding that the ultimate thing is death, right? Because nothing beyond that, as far as we know, we have our beliefs, but nobody knows. Nobody in a rush to find out, neither, right? So when did we become the society that morally grandstands and says a person is deserving of their death and they haven't did anything to where somebody might give the head nod? Like I said, if it was a PDF, if she was a PDF, somebody might be like, oh, okay, all right, I understand it, I get it. We can't live forever, be. But the fact that she didn't do anything, the only thing that y'all have in court of public opinion is tweets. Grow up, grow up. Simple as that. Grow up.
Mm-hmm. Somebody said they missed the cause of death. It's a hypoxia and strangulation. That's what the cause of death was. And they also said that nobody else was linked whatsoever to this case.
Yo, to the person in the chat, the bot, lovely land, grow up. Grow up. If we over here dropping all this debate and knowledge and wisdom, and you focused on the graphic, like you clearly listen. This ain't school no more. We ain't gonna highlight stuff and get that teacher with 3 people in your classroom to point everything out to you. You gotta focus. We gotta focus. Focus on what we're saying. You know what I mean? Don't let the graphics distract you. Don't squirrel. Don't do that. You gotta focus. You gotta focus on what we're saying. So yeah, to what we're saying and what we're talking about, interracial will always be a taboo area. Like I said, if you look at the hub is when people are in the privacy of their bedroom, right? Hopefully they're not watching on the job, because that's just stupid, right? But that is a high category, highly picked category for a reason. The taboo surrounding it, the fact that the cultures act like it's unacceptable when they probably want it the most, right? So there's always that element, right? Like I've seen black men date white women and get mad when black women date outside the race. That is the most confusing thing I've ever seen in my entire life. That is so crazy to me. Like no. What he said on Friday? Oh, that was different. Oh, that was for you, not for me. Like they be tripping. But yeah, interracial will always be a hot button topic, and history books ain't going anywhere. So this will always be sus. Even if that guy was squeaky clean. When I say squeaky clean, like he don't got a jaywalking ticket, he don't got nothing, right? He Jehovah Witness, whatever the case may be. Like it's
Not
just
Jehovah's Witness.
even take the picture out, just the dynamic of white man, black woman, American femicide. It's a real thing. Dying at childbirth is they're already not respected in America. Forget about the rest of the world. Then she went over to another place and was unalive, right? And the last person she was with this white man. It just, I don't know if y'all's black alarms are but mine is definitely going off just even talking about it. So yeah, I get it. Optics
Right.
wise, I don't know.
I think it's standard for any investigation for the last person a person was with to be like a suspect, or at least be questioned. Was he even questioned? You know what I mean? Like, oh, he was at the room and this, that, the third. And there are certain things and certain laws around, let's just use something like consent, right? As an American, like as an American, I wanted to say that we're fairly progressive when it comes to certain like consent laws in certain states and countries and that are in like Africa or something like this. Like you have to be honest about the like location really matters, because it's not like you're not following the laws of which, it's what's there. They probably feel like we can't even question this fucking man. Like, there's so many things to consider. And we'll be here. I'll be here for sure to kind of get into it as things kind of like develop, if there is any coverage over it. And you'll kind of go from there. I don't know, Scholar, if you have any like last words, or anybody want to come up and kind of add into or whatever, what have you.
So Jay. I wanna ask you, would you be willing to do something?
Mm.
Would you be willing to take a trip to no, just playing. Would you be willing to drop the link? Would you be Would you be willing to drop the link and let some of these
What you trying to
overly
say? You
No, that ain't what I'm saying. We just learned that Spanish. That's all I'm saying. We just learned our Spanish one. And I could be your translator with my
Oh
Spanish
hell
one.
no! You the
Sister,
translator?
don't do that. Don't do that. Sister, vamos a la
Please.
playa. Vamos
Oh
a
my
la playa, sister.
god!
Don't do me like that. But no, I wanted
Mm.
to know if you was willing to drop the link, and
Not
and
chosen to build. Ain't said a word. Ain't said a
shout out to
peep.
Chosen. Shout out to Chosen. Let some people
Oh
pull
my
up.
god! All
Let
I
these
see is the box of scout. Chosen, chosen, chosen. Wow! I can't even get a hello anymore. This is amazing.
don't do
My
that, sister.
mind.
Don't do that. Don't do that, sister.
Wow, that's almost incredible. I
Don't
didn't
do
even
that.
know you was in here. You over there? Okay,
Sister, hey,
chosen.
señorita, mira,
Brothers
mira,
unite,
mira,
united
mira,
brothers,
sister,
the
sister, sister,
united brothers,
sister, don't do that. Don't do
united
that.
brothers of the chat. Oh, okay,
Sister,
now,
mi familia,
now,
mi
Trevor,
familia,
way to
sister, mi
go.
familia.
Oh, okay, I'm just curious. That's all. I'm just a little curious.
Sister, don't do it. Vamos a la playa, sister. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Okay, I'm just trying
But
to figure
but
it out.
no,
He
no, I
said,
was willing to see if you were really going to drop the link and let some people pull up since they so opinionated. I would like to hear this because a lot of people hide behind that. Remember we talked about evolution broke? People be so comfortable saying anything. I just seen a video, and I'm pretty sure everybody else has seen it, right? Interracial couple, right? Definitely gonna go viral, right? But it was a white dude with a black woman. She had served and she did something else. And they posted a picture and there was a white man, an angry white man, disgruntled. People think it's only black men in the black community and black women. No. White people be mad when they step out too. It's just weird. It's weird. Some tribalistic stuff. But
mm,
he went and commented under her post and he was like, just the stuff they do. Oh, she's ugly. She's like just talking really, really bad about his wife. So what he did is he used his resources and got that guy's number, right? Called and recorded him, put his screenshots online, and the dude was like, "Well, how do you know I said it?" Because he thinks that he's invisible because he's online. Like he thinks, "Oh, well, I'm safe. He can't find me," you know. So he's like, "How do you know it was me?" And then he went into a whole like doubling down on it. He finally like, "Look, I'll apologize. I'm not racist or anything." And the comments were clearly racist, right? I'm not
mm-hmm.
racist or anything. No, you just mad. The racists are never mad about being racist. They're mad about the fact that they were exposed for being racist. It's the weirdest stuff in the world. And then he was like, I'll apologize because, my wife is Mexican. You know what I got from that? Because this chick she looked good. She looked good. The white dudes were, because when they step out, they do get the baddest. Look at this girl right here. She bad. I'm just keeping it real, right?
No, she's beautiful for sure.
She's bad. They do
Yeah,
go get the best from our community. I ain't gonna lie. I don't like
yeah.
it. Gotta be real. I don't like it. I don't like it. Get our bad built, bench players. Stop getting our starters. Stop stealing all our goddamn starters. That's all I
No,
gotta say.
no, now the black men go over there and get the bench players. Now,
Wait,
now
wait,
that
wait, hold on, sister. Hold on, sister.
whoa,
Vamos
my
a la playa.
microphone went off. Did y'all hear that? Oh my god!
Vamos a la playa. Vamos a la playa. We're not gonna do that. Mi familia. Mi familia, el hombre. Don't do that, sister. Do
I
not do that.
see.
Tengo el gato los pantalones, right? So we're
Oh
not gonna
god,
do
what
that.
the fuck is that? Pantalones is okay. Zapatos. What are you talking about?
So,
What is
but
this?
no, they definitely do. They definitely do come in and get the best, right? So, she was bad, and what I got from that is there be like some people before have talked about like penis envy. But like really, I don't think it has anything to do with like genitalia. I think they just envy us. Like they want to be with us and they're ashamed that they want to be with us because they try to be like prideful in their race and the purity of their race, so that it comes out like that in childish behavior, like where they stalk online and go up under the comment section and talk so negatively about a black woman who's minding her business, ain't doing nothing to nobody. It would be different if she was in the spaces bothering people. She's not doing anything, right? And they go up under there with their insecurity because they really like her and really want her, and it spews out into negativity. That's really what that be. That's really, and you know how I know this is true. And then let me put y'all on some game, black women. Even though y'all don't be putting me on no game, I had to learn Spanish by myself. El hombre by el hombre. You know what I mean?
Mm,
One letter at a time. Nobody helped me out, right? But I'm gonna
mm,
give y'all some game. So I have 9 black friends, right? Growing up where I grew up, and we talk. Everybody know I like to talk, right? Everybody know that, right? So we talk and we discuss things. The consensus that I got from them, and then, you know, some of them were white Hispanic, some of them were Mexican, some of them were flat out white. They were jealous of black women. They were jealous of black women. And this is one thing that a lot of black women don't realize. They get criticized, overly criticized for being strong, right? For like, you know, just being like, you know, like like nobody hears them out, it falls on deaf ears, et cetera, right? They get what do you call it? Not washed out. What am I looking for? Hazed. They get hazed a lot for being strong. But that is the very thing that white men like about them that try to step out. That's the very thing that they like about them. The fact that they have that strength. They feel like white women are easy to push over. I'm telling you, this conversation that I have, that they're easy to push over. They don't give no pushback. They're like on Coming to America. Whatever you would like to eat today. What do you want to do today? And they don't like that. So that's a lot of times why they step out and go get the black women. And as far as the other race of women that are looking at them, they envy that strength that they feel like black women have that nobody else possesses. So it's a lot of envy going on. You got giving y'all some game right now.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, from personal experiences, there is a little. Did you see those leaked text messages of that lady, and she was talking about how to secure a basketball player, and she put it in a group chat with a whole bunch of other, white girls, telling them basically like, always be an asset and set off the black women to make them seem less attractive and everything like this. Did you hear about that or no?
I think I covered it, but it was a while ago.
Yeah, it was some time ago. So
Okay,
I'm
well, give me some
only making it.
context.
Yeah, she basically was just giving her younger freshman, little sisters advice on how to be with a black basketball player or football player, and she said always be an asset to him, and he's gonna always be attracted to black girls. But you make sure if you ever get into a situation, don't back down and like make her turn into full Shanae and everything like this. Like it was unbelievable. The side conversations that happen, I can only imagine. I don't even want to imagine. But the idea that some people deserve to be hurt or to be harmed because they have a preference or they have dated outside of their race is just really ignorant. And um I don't know, I just hope that we can all move past certain things. Peace and love to you, Incognito. How are you? um I appreciate that. uh I definitely realize the jealousy, envy, and hate. Okay, yeah, if that's what you're saying. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's one of those things where you got to start being honest about it and calling it what it is. And for people to be so divisive, and it's the hierarchy and this is that and the third, is a lot of concern about black women dating out, when a lot of black men will obviously say like, oh, I don't want to date black women, you know what I mean? Like, but they get upset, and like you just said, it happens in the reverse. I just feel like people should be who who they want to be with, without the fear and without the possibility of being harmed because of it. That's my whole thing.
That's where we differ. That's where we differ. I feel like
I
you
feel
can
like.
make choices. You can make choices, right? You can make choices, but you can't free yourself from the consequences and the reality of those choices, right? So,
mm,
in the same way that I talk about mixed kids, because I grew up around mixed kids, and I always noticed that they were just not, they weren't mentally put together. I'm just being honest. It's no shade to anybody. Like, I'll
mm,
give you an example. I'll give you an example. I had two mixed friends, as a matter of fact. One that's still my friend to this day. The other, I just ain't seen him in a long time. I mean, he's still a friend, just ain't seen him in years, right? But I remember when we were kids, he used to strike out and like panic in baseball. And I mean, like crying. And I was just like, what the hell? He didn't want to disappoint his stepdad, right? Because he was from a black parent, and then it didn't work out between the mom and dad. So he was raised around Mexicans. And what I hear from those people is there's a constant pull. Think about just going through life. You're gonna go through the ups and downs of just regular, life, right? Life. So imagine going through it, and then your family, the cement got cracks in it, and it's split down the middle, and both of them are trying to. If you do something for black people, oh, about the Mexican people. You do something for Mexican black people, like, hey, hold on, we thought you were black. So it's a constant tug of war while you're developing. So they grow up with deficiencies. It just is what it is. I like there's groups, there's study groups on this stuff. I'm gonna do a whole episode dedicated to this to break this down even further. But there's study groups on this stuff about the people who abuse drugs more are mixed kids. Mixed kids, right? Like, so, it's consequences in everything, right? And you should weigh your choices, but you still should be free to make the choice. So that we just differ. Me and you differ on the date with whoever you want. No consequences type stuff. There's gonna
Well,
be
I'm not talking
consequences. Just
about
prepare
dating. I'm
yourself.
not talking about bringing in children. I'm just talking about dating. The children piece is different. Obviously, somebody put it in the chat about there was a girl that won the Google contest. Her mother is black, and that girl is a powerhouse. There's a difference when a mixed child is raised by a black mother as opposed to a white mother. Like that, it's just a complete and total difference. And people should look more into it. Like you can tell when the mama is black, and that's because a lot of times the dads are in there and they don't really give a damn, and they just halfway anti-black themselves and just so happy to be with somebody who can say whatever you want and just do whatever, hop on one foot type shit. So moms coming in, black women are natural nurturers. We're teachers. We are the origin. We are the source. And so, of course, she's going to be a powerhouse because she was nurtured and fostered in that womb space. And then outside of the womb, she poured into it. So it's a completely different feel. Just even being around them, you feel the kindred spirit. And that's because they were around the black woman. Now, black men should also be responsible for those kind of things, but 9 times out of 10, they don't care. They want them to be like the white mama, honestly. Shit, because anything closer to that is like, well, that's what I'm trying to get away from. And black men who have biracial children almost take no accountability, no responsibility for anything. They'll maybe duck it off to the mom to try to figure it out, or the aunties to try to figure it out, but it's like they don't even think about it. They don't even think about it. Yes, please watch her interview on YouTube. She's impressive, and so is her mother. Yeah, I definitely will. I'll definitely check it out because that's a dynamic that I was kind of late to even understanding. But once I got it, I was like, oh, that makes plenty of sense. And I'm a person who has, a family that's multicultural and everything like this. So I kind of get it from a different perspective. But it all started to click and make sense for me then, honestly.
So when I left, did I hear you right? Did you say it's different when they have black moms?
Yeah.
I'd say, I'd say, no. I think it might be slightly better, but it's the sanest person in the sane asylum or the skinniest kid at fat camp, or it's those type of things. It's like still messed up. Messed up is messed up, right? So because I've seen the black moms, right? I have a cousin who was a product of a black mom, and she's blonde hair, blue eyes, and she still got issues. She would cry. I remember one time my brother called her a snow bunny, and she busted out in tears. Like, it's like, wait a minute, what? Like, it's crazy to me. But yeah, so she busted out in tears. It's no different. You can't remove the race element that in the race comment that exists in America, right? And America teaches everybody the treatment of, they set the tone for race, right? Racialization and stuff like that. This is why during, the Russia-Ukraine war, even though they was at war with Russia, they found time to be racist to black people, which is insane to me, right? But America set the tone for that. But
I mean, like almost immediately too, though. Like I
they
heard that
didn't give
like
it
the
time.
Ukrainians
Yeah.
were like going after the Africans and telling them to
Mhm.
get on the train, and Asia came and
Yep.
picked up their people. The African countries were the last to get their people. I'm talking that not even the Russians turned, the Ukrainians turned on the African people. Like, yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing.
Yeah. You didn't even waste no time. So yeah, the climate is, you can't escape it. It's that deep rooted. It's that much around and existence. So with that being said, can't escape it. So they can't escape it no matter how strong of a black woman their mother is. Those mixed kids they're gonna grow up in America. And it's just like, I used to tell and I've seen this happen before too. So talk to my cousin about this. You know, if you have a kid, and I've seen this, and this kid is beautiful, right? Gorgeous. You grow up every day telling them they're gorgeous. That's only gonna go so far, right? Because they're gonna go out in society, and if the kids pick on them and tell them how ugly they are, your words are not gonna be enough, right? And that's kind of how I view the climate of America.
Mm. What do you mean? You want to add to that?
The climate
Like,
of America, it's not enough. For mixed kids, y'all seeing there's a difference between the black moms and the dads, the black dads, and I'm telling you, it is, but it's slight, and it doesn't, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't go far. It's not far enough to even talk about. You know, it's minuscule. So,
mm.
you know, just be mindful of this stuff. Like if you have kids, just know that they're gonna grow up in this climate. They're gonna, you know, it's gonna be some challenges, right? It's gonna be some challenges. So,
And at least
it's
have them be aware of it. You're right. Because a lot of kids grow up, depending on their phenotypes and everything like this, they grow up kind of oblivious and really sheltered or insulated, most of them. And they get their real, what they call nigga wake up call, you know, when it's
real nigga roll call. That's crazy.
when it's very late in the game. But can anybody tell me where to find this documentary? It's not a documentary. We're talking about the untimely,
This is us talking.
unfortunate.
This is
What documentary?
the Jay Shockumentary. You know, shout out to Jay. Yo,
Oh, shockumentary. Oh, I love that.
wait. Well, tell these people where to find you. Y'all know y'all can find Jay on YouTube. Jay, take a screenshot of your YouTube and put it up and tell these people where to go. Because me and Jay always have conversations like this. Normally we invite people on, but I guess it's the YouTube crowd. They might be busy or doing their own thing, whatever the case may be, working. Like we normally be having some dope conversations over there, and everybody's welcome too. We welcome difference of opinion. You know, don't take anything I say personally. I be trolling, and I'll tell you when I'm trolling. You know, sometimes I go through. Sometimes I'm like, damn, why'd I say that? You know, I get too far in the character, but the most part, I respect everybody, man. I respect everybody.
Yeah, yeah, we have a good time and good conversation. I appreciate that. Um, yeah, you know what? I don't even know how to add the screenshot, but Dre Malay, all platforms, and we could do it like that. I don't know
Oh
if
wait,
you want to.
I could tell you. I could run you through a little tech. You know, hey,
Oh
the
God!
same way I
Oh
learned
God!
Spanish by myself, vamos a la playa,
Oh
vamos a
my
la playa.
God! I should have never said that because this little terrible Spanish you saying.
You know, el hombre, señorita, el hombre. Yo, Jay,
Not the
when they be
hombre.
speaking Spanish to me, I be picking out a little word, and when I find one, I get excited, right? So they be like, "El hombre." Oh, el hombre, I know that one. I know that one. Like, I'd be
Oh
so
my
excited,
God!
but nah, I'd be intimidated. Like, I'm like, I will never speak Spanish to another Spanish person again. Smile and
No,
nod.
I mean I try. I was trying so hard yesterday. Um, they were okay though. They were okay. They were okay.
Oh, read that comment that they just put, Jay. My son came home
Um,
one day from his all-white private school and told us racism didn't exist. That was hilarious. At 10 years old. That's crazy word right there.
no, they are teaching these kids to be like, erasing the history and, not feeding into it. DEI is not real. Da, 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 da. I wouldn't be
Can I be
surprised.
honest with you? Is propaganda, brainwashing, and
Yeah.
it's
And
what do you call
it
grooming,
works.
grooming, because that's what they are. They're kids. They're impressionable. They're grooming them to grow up in a society that's not realistic, because they eventually one day gonna get that call, that that real nigga roll call. You know, they're gonna show up. Listen, I'll give you an example. Right? So back when I was poor, right, when I was a young warthog, I was doing security, and I was working at this place that like uh, did organs or whatever, transport organs and stuff. And I
Yeah.
remember, and this wasn't even a white community. This is so crazy. But there's like a little section off where Arabic people have created their society. They got their own grocery store and stuff like that. Would you believe they called the cops on me while I
Wow.
was in uniform, in my security uniform? So the cop shows up and he's like, "Hey, you seen a suspicious person around?" Like, nah. So we start talking more and more. We slowly start to realize I'm the suspicious person they report. I'm like, so you think black people is showing up daily to a place dressed up in uniform to rob it?
Mm.
But imagine if I had went to a private school and that was my first. Listen, they're setting them people up for a rude awakening because it's gonna be so hurtful. It's better to have it microdosed throughout your life to because you're already aware of it and then have it microdosed to where you could check it or just disregard it than to not believe it exists at all, grow up and then bam, get some hit with it. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it can lead to life or death. You
Yeah.
know, in the case of Trayvon Martin, how he was walking suspiciously. If he would have started running at night, you know what it would have been? Why is he running? It's someplace. Sometimes the color of your skin is the only thing that they see, and it's the only thing that makes you guilty of whatever they said you did, right? And that's America for you. So yeah, I feel bad for those kids that getting groomed to go get a wake up call.
Even the young child, like, that happened most recently in the Carolinas, or Virginia, what it was. His name was
Oh,
Cyrus, the 14-year-old kid. I mean, like, that's unbelievable.
you hear me
That's
getting reactionary, Jay? Vamos a la playa. Va a ir. Mira, mira, mira,
uh-uh.
señorita. Mira,
Mm,
mira. You see that
mm.
last comment that they said? This is crazy, right? Only poor people care about race. When a white billionaire and a black billionaire get in a room together, you think that they talk about race? Absolutely. I think Jay-Z goes into a room and they say, "Hey Jay, can you corral the niggas for us?" And Jay says, "Sure, I can corral them." "Hey niggas, we know why you're on your knees. Can you get up now?" Like, what are we talking about? Like, do you really believe if this is the case, right? If white billionaires did not care about race, then they wouldn't make it so hard to become a billionaire, right? Because we already understand that, like I said, it's baked into the cake, right? Or class and Jim Crow and all this stuff. Black people have only elevated themselves through two lanes: education, and that ain't even enough. You see the unemployment rate, and Donald Trump, I'm creating these black jobs and
Mhm.
entertainment, right?
And
Entertainment.
taking
So
away the professional status of them and everything like this. That's intentional.
yeah, like even if you look at the NFL teams, how many black owners? Without black people, there would be nothing but a ball and three quarterbacks and some fat linemen. Without black people, right? But how many owners is it? Like that's insane to me. Like, no, it absolutely plays a part. You look at all the people who are CEOs and executives, all white, congressmen, all white. Everything's whited out. You know what I mean? Like the retracted, like the Epstein files, right? Um, yeah, like we're not gonna play this game. We're not gonna play this game. You and I both know. Hold on, leave that up there. Leave that up there. Put that back up there. So this is where you can find Jay, right? She talks about culture and conversation. Fuck on the sound of my voice. Now this is where you get. This is where you can find my sister Jay. Go ahead and subscribe to her. The YouTube, the YouTube. She definitely got some motion over there. She dope. She dope. She's a dope content creator, and we have conversations like this. You know what I mean? We so good at what we do. Oh boy, pulled up and thought it was a documentary. That's when you know you putting in. That's when you know you dropping gems. We ain't
Uh-huh.
playing it. Ain't no script. We just talking, shooting from
Yeah.
the hip.
Yeah. No, yeah, literally. Yes, yes, yes. I appreciate that so much, good brother. Okay, make sure you guys are subscribing, liking the video, engaging. We talk about popular topics, hot topics, and we talk about them in a way that helps us reshape and reframe our paradigm. And I really want to maybe, continue having these type of conversations because they are important. And you just never know what people can get out of conversations like this, what they may hear and it may spark in their mind, and they can take back, what they can use and leave what they can't. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. A white person in your comment section said you don't create, and their entire culture is stolen. Like I remember they were doing interviews on the street, and they said name a white dish, and they were talking about hamburgers, and it's not white at all. Like culture stealing. Have you heard of? He doesn't know the history of the UK. Clearly, because Americans are nothing but descendants of people from the UK. So
right.
the UK's stolen legacy and all that stuff, like, man, what are we talking about? I definitely know your education level. And this is what I do not like. Somebody put permanent victimhood. Like white people, I realize, like these type of white people, because there's different types, right? Just like y'all categorize us, we categorize y'all too as well, right? So there was a clip that I had, and it was a black person it was like one of those old, you know, like how Michael Jackson would stereotype the gangsters in the Beat It video and stuff like that, right? It was one of those. It's a movie like The Substitute or something like that. And he ends up fighting the black kid and beating him up or anything. Had nothing to do with race, right? I look in the comment section and lo and behold, I see white people say it's not, what did they say? It's not all of them, but it's always them. It's like, bro, it's a movie. And that be the problem. Y'all don't have no black experiences because you do not have black friends. And the black friends that y'all have, we seen them. They're Carlton Banks like, they have no involvement with black people. We seen them. You know, the Colin Powells and etc. We seen the black friends that y'all try to vouch for, if y'all are even really friends, right? Candace Owens and stuff. The black friends y'all have are black friends that only agree with everything y'all say. Cool. You know, to a certain degree. But we see them. But
They're the
like the
same
fact,
culturally. Like they
yeah,
have the same interests. They have the same kind of
country
background.
clubs.
Hmm.
Yes. So that was one of the comments. Another comment was the black fatigue was even real back then. Do y'all not even realize how frustrating it is when y'all take a term like woke, right? Woke, and turn it negative, right? Woke came from the civil rights era, right? Wokeness. They were saying black people were being woke to the scheme that y'all were running on us. Hijacked that and made it negative, right? Black fatigue. White fatigue is what it was black fatigue was what it was originally called, but it had nothing to do with white people being tired of black people. That is insane to me. Y'all are tired of us. We're the ones that y'all are tired of. January 6th, where y'all stormed the Capitol for a fair election, would be the example of white fatigue. Every time we turn on the news and there's a mass unaliving, right, with an assault rifle, who is it? Fatigue? We tired of y'all. We're tired of having conversations where it has nothing to do with y'all. Y'all pull up and make it all about y'all. And y'all, the way y'all do it is y'all pull up, y'all say, hey man, you know, all lives matter. Hey man, I'm just as poor as you. Hey man, it ain't about black or white. It's about the rich versus us. Stay out of the conversation, bro. Let us have discourse by ourselves. Like, you're not the authority on race. You're not the leader on race. You don't have anything to show or teach us. You don't own us. Like, when I have these type of debates and white people pull up, they don't even realize how racist it is to tell me, right, who's lived in the black community, been black all my life, what I'm experiencing and what I should do going forward. That is some Jim Crow, I'ma tell this black man what to do type stuff. Like, you're still in that mindset and don't even realize it, right? And you, like I said, y'all show up, y'all the professional victims, always the victims of everything. Like, when we talk about reparations, oh no, why we gonna give them? I wasn't around during slavery, but when the January 6ers want to get money from the government for storming the Capitol, right? Everybody's for it. Nobody's up and that's taxpayers' money. That stuff like that be sick to me. That'd be sick to me because, like I said, the one group that obsess over race the most, you can't fill out a form to get medication without talking about your race. They invented racialization and race-based slavery in America. Literally, they wanted the slaves to be slaves forever, right? Forget about child slavery. This is forever, right? They had breeding places where they would breed them like cattle, right? This is American history. And then when black people acknowledge it, oh, you guys are victims. They're erasing history books. They're taking us out of they're taking us out of historical documents. They're reteaching history in Florida. All of this stuff because they are professional victims. Nobody's allowed to be victims but them. And anytime that a shot at equality is presented, they feel like they're being victimized because they don't want an even playing field for everybody. That's what Rosewood was about. They don't want an even playing field. They burned stuff to the ground because they felt like with an even playing field, those black people were going to do better than them. And if you look who's the number one educated group in America, right? They talk about the crime numbers. They never talk about the 2.62 million Americans who have their master's degree and are leading in education and also leading unemployment. They never talk about stuff like that. They never talk about how a person got their house valued, right? Right? And got it reevaluated with a white family, with white pictures around, and the value went up. There was nothing they could do about that, but this is the stuff that they ignore. But they know it exists. You know how I know they know it exists? I was talking to my wife about this, right? There was a woman, and my wife is smart for this, pointing this out, because this is high level thinking right here. But there was a woman who went to a sperm bank, right, and got some black sperm, right? And she was mad as hell, right? Because she wanted a white baby. But she wasn't mad for the reason that you think she would be mad. You know why she was mad, Jay? She was mad because she had to raise a white baby or a mixed baby with the struggles of being black. So they're aware of it. When Kamala Harris was running, Rush Limbaugh's on the radio saying, don't vote for her. She's not from your lineage. She's not a real black. You got Ann Coulter out there saying, she don't know the struggle. She's not down for the struggle. She don't got slave blood. So y'all aware of the struggle, right? Because this is Fox News. Fox News is always talking about how the struggle don't exist. Now all of a sudden y'all understand the struggle? Listen, man. Y'all can let them people play in y'all faces y'all want to, but they don't get to play in mine. I already know who they is. Jay done fell asleep. Jay ain't trying to mess up the money. Jay not trying to mess up the money. I get it, sister. I get it, sister. They got you. They got you, sister. But yeah, the white people not finna play in my face. Like, I know who y'all is. The history book showed me. I seen an African one time talking about how that she just learned about Jim Crow. She learned about the movements of black people and stuff like that. And she was like, I'm surprised that y'all even talk to them people. She was like, I wouldn't even trust them. I wouldn't do anything with them, you know? And the idea that we are forgiving and we still, you know, nobody wants revenge. We just want to exist. We want to exist in peace. We want to have discourse about black issues, right? Because it's so funny because they give us bootstraps, and then when we try to have discourse about the shoestrings and the boots, they show up as experts and tell us disperse. Oh, what are we all doing? So nosy, but so obsessed with black people. That'd be the craziest part. So obsessed with black people. No other race. No other race. I mean, the Mexican, they kind of, vamos a la playa. They kind of done teetered into the news, and they are the new, you know, what do you call it, like slave class, whatever, because you have businesses incentivizing them to come, while the same businesses are paying Fox News to tell everybody to get them out of here. So you have that duality. But for the most part, listen, man, black people, the black fatigue, don't let them hijack black fatigue, because they do this with everything. The dude, it's so funny, like I said, the dude coming out with even reparations. Now they're talking about reparations for white people. Like, if you look at the EEOC sued Nike, right, for DEI practice. So they believe in reparations for themselves. They hijack everything. No originality between them, right? They hijack every idea. Don't let them hijack black fatigue. Black fatigue is actually a book, right? Black fatigue is actually a book that you could buy, and it's basically, then I'm talking to the black people now, because you might want to buy this. It's a good read, right? I didn't finish it. No, I didn't finish it. Well, I got ADHD, by the way, but I read before I started reading the book, I looked into what it was. But black fatigue is basically, the general gist of it is, it's talking about the black plight as being a black person, right? Because you get criticized from everybody, even your own, right? They will sometimes be harsher than everybody else because of the climate and society that they were raised in. You got that. You got white people, right, not accepting you, you know, creating ghettos and stuff that are designed to take our best. So the doctors and the lawyers, they want to go to nice neighborhoods and stuff like that because the crime is lower. So they take our best, and then they don't even want our best. When our best get to neighborhoods, they call the cops on them, HOA fees and stuff like that. So black fatigue is just essentially saying that as a black person, you get tired of these type of things. So that's what black fatigue is. White people hijack it and say, we're tired of black people. Like, that is hilarious to me. The idea that y'all would be tired of us is insane. Absolutely insane. You tired of us, huh? Okay. Okay. Yep, just like they did woke. What's good, Sir Foul Player? I think I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. You know, to the people that are watching, make sure you subscribe to Jay. Make sure you subscribe to Jay. She dropped the link on our panel for anybody to pull up, but Nobody pulled up. I'm not that surprised at that, because people are real brave in them comment sections, but they don't they definitely don't pull up, right? Eric Hayes, what are you doing for your race? Yeah. Yeah, Lemonade. I'll catch you on the next one. Hold on, give me 1 second. 1 second. Let me try this real quick. Okay. I don't know if y'all can hear me. Like I said, make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all subscribe. This was a good topic to talk on because, like I said, it's really popular. I wonder if they could get deep into those analytics at the hub and see which group, which group looks at interracial on the hub more. I guarantee it's white men. I guarantee it. They like, even during the time where where the presidents believed that black women were less than, they were still catching them at like what, really, really super duper young ages, impregnating them and then selling their babies off into slavery. Right. So if they couldn't resist then, when it was a time where they were property, imagine now, right? It hasn't went anywhere. So I guarantee they are the number ones, because I have friends who talk about stuff like this, and they would tell me like I have a friend who used to be on a sugar daddy site, and she would say that the sugar daddy was like weird, like he would like wanted her to dress up like a maid and like kick him in you know the nether area, like just weird stuff like that. So I'd imagine, and like, listen, and to the crime statistics that the people are always bringing up and stuff and talk about proportionality, they never talk about proportionately why black people are getting more master degrees. Because if we 14% of the population and 2.62 of the master's degrees, that's a lot of people, right? And if you look at who are committing the crimes of SA and PDF, we know what they look like. You know what I mean? So we're gonna talk about crime and we're gonna talk about issues and bootstraps. Let's talk about it all, right? Or not at all, right? That's what black fatigue is, right? Always constantly under the microscope, always constantly getting judged no matter what you do. You could be a kid like Trayvon. If you pass away, they're gonna put images of you smoking weed online and why you deserve your death. And it's just like, wait a minute, what does this have to do with him unjustly being like unalive? That has nothing to do with it. And why are they putting this out? Like, that's the fatigue that the media, the giants, right? Don't, like, they show their biasness in the case of it. And even if he's a kid, he's not viewed as a kid. This is why before Black Lives Matter was hijacked and made a movement, the words were powerful, right? Because it's like, wait a minute. Like, we know throughout the history books that y'all didn't respect us, right? And y'all say that times are so different now, then why, when we ask for respect, it's always met with resistance? It's met with resistance because you don't really respect us. That's what that's about, right? So that's where we're at with it. That's what the black fatigue is. Like, it's tiring being a black person. I remember even Chris Rock said this. Shout out to Rachel Dozer, the only white person ever in history who wanted to be black, right? That I know about. Maybe some others, but that's the most famous case, right? But I remember Chris Rock said in the audience, he was like, "I'm rich as hell, and would none of you white people trade places with me for 1 second?" And everybody in the audience lost it. Oh my God, they was laughing, busting guts, tripping over the, doing all the whole nine, right? And it's because it's true. It's true. Everybody know what that is. Just like that person that got the wrong sperm, right? She understands what her baby's gonna have to go through. It's no secret. And listen, we don't even really expect y'all to want to give up y'all's privilege because y'all know it exists, right? It's like going into a club and asking a person in the VIP section to give up their VIP status. We know that that's not going to happen, right? We understand that. But goddamn, we just want respect at the minimum. Have your VIP status. We just want respect. We want respect, and we want y'all to stop playing games in our face. Because every time that we get good on the board, on the Monopoly board, y'all flip it around and change the rules. It's crazy to me. Like the little brown area that y'all told us was devalued, not valuable. Y'all are now coming back and trying to buy the brown area back up. It's like, wait a minute. So the only thing that makes it valuable is if you say it's valuable? How is that a game that's fair? This is why black people, like, this is the fatigue, because we're stuck on the hamster wheel. Where do we go? We can't go back to Africa. We're so far removed from Africa. They were splitting up the families, not allowing them to get married. Because they were still getting married during slavery, by the way. They were still jumping the broom, but they were splitting the families up, had breeding where they were breeding the mother and the son, stuff, all kind of weird stuff. I just seen a talk show radio, and there was a younger black girl on there who was telling the host that during slavery, they ate babies. And the host is like, no. It's like, bro, all the horrific things that was done during slavery, and you can't fathom the idea of somebody eating kids? Bro, what is wrong with you? They were unaliving kids when they were born, like doing weird things to kids. Why is that so hard to wrap your mind around? Right? And they were like, the girl was like, no, she's talking about this isolated incident. It's like, isolated? You mean documented, right? And just like we know, when something's documented and black people don't have rights or nobody to fight for them, then it probably was happening a lot more than you would like to think, right? Because that documented case that they're referring to was the slaves who witnessed it. What about the slaves who never spoke of it because they were scared they were going to die? Right? So it definitely wasn't isolated. Like, are you serious? Like, what? Like, I can't wrap my mind around the fact that they can't wrap their mind around that. Like, they really think slavery was peachy. They've really been groomed and taught that white people made a bad decision during slavery, right? Martin Luther King came and white people became all good and gave chances and bootstraps. And we all know that that's not the truth. So with that being said, yo, that's crazy, right? That's crazy, right? Every time I say I would get up out of here, I end up going down the rabbit hole even more, right? But yeah. With that being said, black people just want to be respected, man. We just want to be respected. We just want to have discourse, because I guarantee you could take a random person from this chat, black person, right? Put them in a room with me. I don't even have to speak to them, and I can speak to them. 100%. 100% I could do that. It's universal languages that we know, facial expressions that we know, just being raised in America. A lot of our the human language is nonverbal. So black people have definitely developed in this system, how to speak without using our words to other black people, right? And as far as this culture stuff goes, somebody put in a comment, your it's y'all's culture. Our culture? Slavery is tied to both of our cultures. Who was bad in that? Who's the villain in there? Right? It is, and like I said, they learn our culture from movies, white directors telling us. That's like equivalent to me being raised and being sheltered from gangs and learning how to be a gangster from Michael Jackson videos. The zesty gangsters, just beat it. Like what? That's not a accurate interpretation of what a gangster is, right? Stupid, right? So yeah, that'd be a lot of the problem too. They don't have any experiences with black people. That's why they be shocked. Oh, like Bill O'Reilly. You remember when Bill O'Reilly finally went to like a black establishment and he was telling all of his white friends, like, oh my gosh, the food was excellent. The service was good. It's because they don't have a lot of interactions with black people other than what movies, Hollywood, and the media portray. But then they'll turn around us and tell us how fake and propagandized the media is. But wait a minute. If it's like fake news is fake news. Why would you trust them on how they interpret how black people are supposed to be, but then shun them in any other category where they tell us how Donald Trump is or something like that? It's absolutely insane. Hip hop is a part of our culture. If you look at all the rappers, they are black mostly, right? But if you look at the people who make money off of hip hop, none of them be black, right? You look at the executives and all those rich people, they're all white men, right? And artists have repeatedly said, like people like Lupe Fiasco do not get pushed by white people. They push the degeneracy, right? They push that into our communities. But hip hop is an element of our culture. It's not our culture, right? We have other stuff, and y'all wouldn't know this because y'all don't have what real black friends, right? We have double dutch, family reunions, a lot of stuff that's positive that we do, right? Graduate and get our masters, 2.62 million out of 14% of the population, right? And y'all don't choose to focus on that. So do y'all think it would be fair if we start focusing on the PDFs? And these are the ones that make it through court. Because if we got a whole bunch that was in them files that didn't make it, right? Would y'all think that that was fair? Y'all wouldn't. So all we ask is a little bit of respect. You know, I wish Jay wasn't asleep because I hit that button right now and play Aretha. That's all we asked for, man. Respect. Stop showing up to our conversations, trying to be the leaders, trying to be the experts on being black, telling us what we need to do. What about what y'all need to do? Like who died and made y'all the arbiters of race? Who died and put y'all in charge? People, listen, I guarantee white people think that Jesus Christ like wrote a will or something. Jesus Christ wrote a will or something, leaving white people in charge when he passed away until he gets back. Because they are the arbiters of everything. They know exactly what to do, when to do, how we're supposed to behave. You know, when there was a Black Lives Matter, it was like, hold on, wait up, Blue Lives Matter. Then you fast forward to January 6th and look at all the blue lives that those people are beating up to storm the federal building. Cannot make this stuff up. You know, let me see what let me read the comments real quick before I get up out of it. You're a joke. You're low IQ. Hilarious. Hilarious. Oh, this is covered. Black propaganda. Rolled eyes. Side eye. The smirk. That's crazy. I want to be left alone. Oh, okay. I think he's black. I think that brother black. Said good night with laughing emojis. Yeah. Y'all could have pulled up. Anybody could have pulled up, by the way. You know, more black propaganda. Everything I've said today was facts. You could Google it. Google's your friend. Type it in. You know, I think it's really interesting too that a lot of the people nowadays believe in what do you call it? They believe that online news is more reliable than regular news, even though online news use the same tactics that used in. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. That they use the spades facts. That's a fact too. They use I agree with you. I I kind of recognize the name from earlier. At first I was looking through, I was like, okay, I get you. Yeah, you've been cooking all night through the chat. I just been, I ain't been focused on. I've been speaking from the heart, giving it black propaganda, as somebody say. Um, but damn, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, it's getting late. Okay. All right, sister. But no. Look at what I said. Look at what I said about black people getting their master's degrees. Look at all that stuff. Those numbers are real. Those numbers are real about black people going to get educated, about the unemployment rate still rising amongst black people, about Donald Trump talking about black jobs. What's a black job? That's crazy. Like, well, you're generalizing. What is a black job? Like, that's crazy. And then he further goes into a warehouse. You think black people are all they're good to do is work in warehouses? That's insane. That's insane, man. That's insane the way they think about black people. But yeah. Um, okay, my bad. I'm back. to be in a DMV right now. It's so surreal. Yeah, I mean, I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen anything like this. The fact that 80 million people voted for Donald Trump, the fact that we still go to the gas pump and the gas prices are outrageous, the fact that they're up there telling, they don't make it a secret. It's okay to be white. You don't have to be afraid to be white anymore. And you're just like, ugh, just like that stuff is cringe to me. I can't believe people really rocking with that. But hey, you know, we don't have any power. Black people showed up and did our job. We voted for the smarter candidate. You know, as much as they try to make it seem like there's no togetherness amongst black people, it's a lie. It's a lie. We have our strays. You know, we have our Candace Owens, but for the most part, we make a lot of good decisions. We make a lot of good decisions. You know, a lot of people didn't vote for Donald Trump. You know, people be like, "Oh, the Democrat plantation." It's funny. Well, what is the Republicans? If the Democrat plantation is one thing, what is the Republican? I watched Tariq Nasheed constantly crap all over Democrats, but like I kind of believe he's a Republican shield only because he don't do the same on the other side. And it's like you're gonna try to hold Democrats' feet to the fire, right? What are you doing to Republicans? You're trying to hold people to the fire that would at least put you on the ballot, at least talk about your issue, at least bring it to the forefront, but you wouldn't put people to the fire who don't even want to fathom the idea of doing it. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like it's backwards. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I think Tariq Nasheed, I think it's his shield. I think he's paid for it. You know what's going to happen in the future? There's going to be so much deep fakes with AI, so much, that people are going to stop believing internet news. They're going to start to distrust that, because right now, internet news is the news that's forefront. That's why it's a lot of conspiracies. But because AI is growing so rapidly as it is, I think people are going to start to distrust that because they're using the same tactics, like I said, as the media. They're using the exact same tactics. They even editing and clips the same. They're learning fast. So eventually, people ain't gonna know what to believe. They're definitely not gonna believe the internet no more. And we won't get this anti-intellectual movement that I see go because we can't afford it. We can't afford it. You see what happens? Like there's too many people in society now that depends on you know the smartness of the common man or lack thereof. And we just can't afford it no more. Me and Jay in the future, that's why I say I gotta subscribe to Jay's channel. Find her on the internet. Exactly like y'all see it at the bottom is exactly what you're gonna type in the search bar on the internet because I want to do holistic. The next episode or one of the episodes, because we talk about a lot, I want to do holistic versus science. That's a good thing I want to stop because I believe in holistic to a certain degree, and I just want to chop it up about that with people who are passionate about it. So, you don't have to be scared to hit the link. To the people that have three teeth in their mouth, that's still doubling down on Donald Trump and voting against their best interest, those people would have to be scared, right? Because they don't know much, right? And they're going to show up and think loud equals right, and they're going to end up embarrassing themselves, right? But for the most part, everybody else, I mean, life is about conversations, and the wave that we're moving in now, good radio, good authentic conversations is starved nowadays, and that's what me and Jay have. So make sure y'all subscribe and make sure y'all make it to the next episode. I think I'm gonna get up out of here. I gave myself a time, and I said about midnight. I was gonna get up out of here because listen, I'll be up here all night. I can go another 3 hours. What I believe, I'll be on some. I go down the wormhole just like y'all. A lot of people finding this channel was going down a wormhole, and that algorithm was like, "Hey, check out the scholar," or check out Jay, or whatever the case may be. So, you know, I know how it gets, but we definitely have some dope shows over here. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna I'm gonna get up out of here. I might read a couple comments because it's 4 minutes left at 12. And I'm gonna jump in the sauna, and we're gonna try it again tomorrow. And hopefully y'all pull up, or if you're working, you're bored, pop them headphones in, and hey, we'll we'll have a conversation. And if you didn't like this conversation, maybe you'll like it again tomorrow. Or maybe we'll try again tomorrow. Maybe you'll like it. Maybe you won't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. In the words of a famous boxing trainer, I don't know what you gotta do. You gotta do something. Why does this dude? I wish, bro, you're gonna get blocked. Black propaganda is crazy. How you gonna have black propaganda and white people control the media? White people control the media, all the narratives, black propaganda. Crazy. Neither them Democrats or Republicans have helped Black folks, and this is where, Gwen, this is where we disagree, because it used to be a time during MLK. And this is why I say you gotta go searching for this stuff, because it's not just gonna pop out and raise his hand and say, "Oh, I'm over here. I'm knowledge. Learn about me." Right? During those times, Black people sided more with Republicans, right? Because Republicans was riding a wave of Lincoln, right? Um, Free the slaves and all this other stuff. They was riding that wave of Republicans. Republicans were more liberal back in the day. They were actually electing people, Black people, sending them off. And you had the Dixie Democrats, right? And then they flipped. Republicans couldn't ride that wave anymore because they had transformed. Nixon brought the Southern strategy to Republicans, right? And Ronald Reagan rode that to victory, right? And it's been like that ever since. It never flipped back. So they have flipped, right? But Democrats passed civil rights legislation. Like, what do you mean they haven't did anything? And you see right now, the party that's in charge, Republicans, are trying to gerrymander and do all the tricks and stuff that they did during the 60s. Make segregation for businesses legal, stuff like that. They're bringing it back. So no, like I can no longer sit around and let Black intellectual people pretend like they are the same, because they're not. They're not. It's not even a small difference. It's a lot different. It's a lot different. I remember when Bernie Sanders was running against Hillary Clinton, right? When Bernie Sanders was running against Hillary Clinton, I remember, a lot of people wanting Bernie to win, right? I was one of those people too as well. I think Americans should get free healthcare, especially refooting the bill for Israel to have free healthcare. Like, that's insane. And start wars that's going to cost us a whole bunch of money. It's a whole nother topic, right? But I remember they were running. I remember Kamala, Cory Booker, and somebody else was talking about reparations and how they were going to bring that as a talking point, right? And I can remember people on the Republican side said that they hope that they talk about reparations because it's not popular, it doesn't poll popular, and that's going to be the death sentence to their candidacy. So I remember this in real time, and I'm like, well, listen, there's one party that you can say they don't care, but at least they are bringing conversations up, because that's how it starts, right? It starts with conversations, ideas, thoughts, and legislations and bills, right? Like, there was a thought before they gave Japanese reparations. It didn't happen right away. It's thought, legislation, studies, money. That's how that works, right? But one party is in the thought process before the legislation, and one party absolutely doesn't even fancy the idea, thinks that you're dumb for even putting that on the docket. And that's Republicans. That's Republicans. Like, that's insane to me. They're not the same. They're not the same. It's not even close. And then this person talk about Republicans, Democrat. What is this? You think they run the nation? I would definitely say a guy who does whatever he wants to, including give money and reparations to the people who unlawfully stored the Capitol and beat up the blue lives that they said matter, is definitely in charge. Definitely. You control this podcast. White liberals speaking on the behalf of Black controlled media. Huh? Look at how things are being rolled back. Yep. We should not be fighting for the same thing. Yep. Reparations, bro. I'll buy your ticket back to your land. But they don't even want you there. And see, that's what I mean by That's what I mean. See, he come in with Democrat. Listen, I told you, they always do the same tactic. They're not just, listen, for those who's been here the entire time, did not say this is one of their tactics. They show up and they tell us the real people in charge, the real villains are the rich people. So that's what he did. Why Democrats, Republicans? What is this? You really think they run the nations? Then after deflecting, who the beneficiary of the legacy of evil is, right? He then says, reparations, I'll buy your ticket back. Bro, what are you talking about? I'm just as American as you. The reason we talk about reparations is because My ancestors gave free labor to make America what it is, fought in wars, and came back and did not receive government benefits. My family has fought in every war that we've ever had. Like, what are you talking about? I'm more American than you are, because that's called sacrifice for your country. You ever sacrifice for your country? It's crazy work. You say you speak in generalizations and stereotypes, using accusations and assumptions, propaganda. And you've been here this entire time listening to me. Why do you think that is? What do you think that I'm speaking to? You know what I'm speaking to? I'm speaking to your conscience, because you've been brainwashed by America to think one way, and you hear it, you know the truth when you hear it. And what I'm saying is the truth. I haven't said one lie. Listen, if you want to debate or you want to get your ideas out, Jay has the link out there for you to click on and pull up, but you're not going to do that. You're going to stay in the chat where it's safe, where you could throw tomatoes, say propaganda, say wrong, but you've been here this entire time, because I'm speaking to your conscience right now. Because what I'm saying is in history books. What I'm saying is, what I'm saying is something I gave deep thought to. It ain't just feelings or regurgitated Tucker Carlson or the CK guy that was on the live on camera. You were never a slave. I was never a slave. I owe you nothing. Well, I'll say this. I don't owe Israel anything, but my tax dollars go to Israel, right? Because the way the government works is it's not about what you personally owe to somebody. That's what reparations is. You're repairing something, right? Those people were never paid, right? Those people, there are properties out there that families are still fighting for, that was unjustly took from them, right? So when we talk about paying back reparations, I mean, look, get the corporations to pay it. You want to talk about, the real evil and this and that, get them to pay it. But why are you so worried about where your money is going when it's going to black people? Why that? Were you this outraged whenever Trump was talking about giving the January 6th reparations? Are you this outraged when the EEOC is suing corporations for hiring black people? Are you that outraged about where your tax dollars are going in? You're not. Why are you dragged along at black people? That's what I mean by respect. They do not respect you. They do not respect you. The same way, I know y'all listen, it's a documentary on Netflix, and it was really famous a while back, called The Way They See Us, right? When Donald Trump in the Central Park Five, remember he was talking about those people, how they were animals, and he paid a lot of people say influence the way that they were perceived, right? You remember that? The way they see us, they don't respect us. They still see us the same. And it's kind of hard to see us any different when, they benefit off the way they see us. And they're reinforced constantly through the media about the way they portray and see us. And then they're groomed as a kid to think, well, white people made a bad choice. Martin Luther King came and they saw Jesus, right? And not to mention, when Jesus passed away, he left in his will for white people to be in charge. So we got to do this. It's our duty. The rich is not a color. Didn't I say this? Didn't I say this? Incognito, you've been here this entire time. Didn't I say this? The rich is not a color. They do the same topic. Don't focus on us. Focus on the rich. It's the rich people. It's the rich people you should be mad at. Yo, Jay, you there?
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to you, sister. Focus on the sound of my voice. Put your channel up. I've been trying to promote your channel this entire time. Girl, I can go about 3-4 more hours.
Mm-hmm. No, brother.
Put your thing up, because I wanted to end with that. That would be a good. So to those watching, this is the channel holder right here. Like, so my views don't reflect hers. I just show up. I'm a brother that's gonna show up and speak the truth. But this is where you can find her on YouTube, because a lot of people are probably scrolling through the Facebook algorithm, but she's on more than one platform. She be doing a thing on TikTok, and she gonna be a future star in this thing. I'm definitely stamping that. She definitely gonna be there. But my views don't reflect her. Excuse me, don't reflect hers. It's just, she just allows me on. And I try to keep it within the realm of whatever. With just keeping good, genuine vibes and conversation. But that's how you find her. Make sure you go subscribe if you have a YouTube. Like I said, she do a lot of dope content, and we do lives and stuff like that. So make sure y'all subscribe to her. White people definitely gonna do it because they love, some about putting out that chocolate bait. Some about putting out that
Oh,
chocolate bait.
God. Oh my God.
Some about putting up that bait, sister. They definitely coming. They definitely coming.
Uh-huh. Joseph says, started making. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate y'all for tuning in and adding to the conversation in a healthy way, I hope. It's well beyond, the time for me, but I just wanted to say thank you before I hop up out of here. Scott, I know you've been going on. I don't know if you got anything else you wanted to get up off your chest.
Sister, my chest is free.
No.
I'm out there like Monique, not little skinny Monique, big Monique. When she won the lottery, I got it all off my chest. It's a lot more. I ain't gonna lie, it's a lot more. It's a lot more. I can talk about this because listen, I give a lot of this stuff deep thought. If there's not a person who's gonna come genuinely and have this conversation or have deep thoughts about these, they're never gonna win these type of arguments or debates or even add anything to it, especially if they just come in with feelings. But I told him, Jay, we're gonna shoot. I don't know if you're busy tomorrow, but I want to shoot for holistic versus natural. Oh no, holistic versus science live. You down?
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Sure.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you. I might win because I stayed up during the live.
Oh,
They gonna.
incredible.
I'm my own billboard, sister. I'm my own billboard. The fact that I
I,
was able to stay up
I
and fight
see.
these holistic demons that's on my back, saying get you rest. I don't even close my eyes when I sneeze. I said
Yeah, you should be the one to
it.
tell. Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I do it all. It's two things that give me the energy. That's what's his name? What's that dude name? Pat Robinson's protein shakes. Creatine. What's that dude? What is that dude's name? Aiden Ross creatine. And I take Drake's fish oils. So those three things give me the strength that I need to keep going. That little voice. I'm losing calcium in my bones right now. Doctors say I should stop. Jay, I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop. Every day is a TED Talk for me. You should see me ordering my latte. She'd be like, "Good day, sir. Good day." What you mean by good day? Huh? Good as not. See, stay with me. Stay with me. But no, that's all I got. That's all I got. What's good? What's good, girl, dad? Girl, dad be on there cooking up a storm. But yeah, shout out to everybody that pulled up. Shout out to Incognito. He said, "I'm a Christian. I am who I am, brother. I am who I am." But yeah, we're gonna be back. We'll be back. Make sure y'all sub up to the people watching. And we'll catch you on the next one. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. If y'all didn't, I don't live here. This is Jay's channel. So I'm out.
Okay. All right. Peace.